Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to a brand new episode of Big Dumb Monsters. I am Chris.
And I am Nick.
And this week we have two very special guests joining us. We have Rowyn and Rob from Team Manticore. They came by and talked to us for quite a while about The Thing.
Yeah.
This might be our longest episode ever. It might be... It's neck and neck with From Dusk Till Dawn. I think that was like 212 altogether.
Yeah, it's in the ballpark.
So that one's going to be longer than this one, but it was a good time. We had a great discussion about the movie. Yeah,
they are about as passionate about that movie as we are about anything. They love it. I mean, we love the movie too. Like, we're not going to hide it. We adore this movie.
This is the 1 week we didn't. I think it's the first time we didn't fall into the trap of we love this. Like, just kind of like falling into that repeating, over and over again. So we did good. We're growing as podcasters.
Yeah. We're gonna be criticizing a little bit of the movie.
Yeah,
not a whole lot because we fucking love it.
Yeah,
there you go.
But hope you enjoy. Hey, we're the Big Dumb Monsters.
That's right. Yeah,
and we're talking about The Thing.
Enjoy the show.
This week we are talking about The Thing, the 1982 version of it. Yeah,
one of the best remakes of all remakes.
Yes, yeah. We talked about this a little bit on our Night of the Living Dead podcast, where this is a remake that was called for.
Sure,
you don't remake great movies; you make movies that could have been great with a little bit more.
Yep.
I've never actually seen the original Thing from Another World.
I haven't either. With us, we have Team Manticore. If you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
I am Rob from Team Manticore, and
I am Rowyn.
And in preparation for this episode, we actually did watch the 1950s version.
All of them.
Oh, really?
We watched everything.
Yeah, we watched.
We've also heard the radio play.
We've heard the radio play before. That's based on the short story. But we hadn't watched the 1950s. So we watched that. We watched the prequel that came out in 2011.
I almost did that. I thought about doing it and I did not.
See, we also because we're big fans of the practical effects. We watched the movie Harbinger Down, which is where all the practical effects from the prequel went eventually. So it's kind of Thing associated.
Wow, you guys are way deeper into this than I am.
Prepared, yeah.
We can talk about that in the crapshoot.
But I will say I hesitate to call the 1982 a true remake of the 50s one. It's more like just a better adaptation of the story to begin with.
Okay.
Because the one in the 1950s, the Thing doesn't turn into anybody else. The Thing is just a vegetable.
Oh.
It's very 1950s. It's a cookie cutter 1950s monster movie.
Someone literally says, like a carrot.
Oh.
That's the Thing of the 1950s. It's made reference, like they reference the 1950s one in the 1982 when they show the people all standing around in a circle in the ice in the video they're watching. They're talking about that movie. But like their thing was not a thing. And no, where it's 1982. Yeah, whereas in 1982 it's like actually the story. It's actually who goes there. It's much better everything.
Yeah, that was like right in that prime time when like 50 sci-fi movies were like, just film something and make it look giant on screen and that'll be the horror movie.
Yeah.
Like, you get Them, the Ants movie, Night of the Lepus, with the killer rabbits.
The original Blob.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
The Blob was another good remake.
Yeah. That was
the other...
fourth episode, I think, maybe, or fifth episode?
Third, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was our third episode.
Yeah, it was our third episode, yeah. Yeah, we love the 80s Blob. That's a really good movie.
If you're doing good remakes, you'll have to hit The Fly, too, because that's another one that just propels above the original.
Yeah, that's one that keeps like popping up on our radar. Yeah, I just realized like 5 minutes ago I said we're going to do a synopsis on the movie, and we never actually did a synopsis on the movie.
Oh.
We skipped right into.
Yeah, we got right into it. Well, basically the thing is, there's this, Arctic like research team. They are stranded in the middle of nowhere on this, research base. They're in the Antarctic, so they're in the south. There's an incident in the beginning where they don't know what's going on. There's a guy, yelling at them in Swedish and trying to shoot this dog. Turns out the dog's infected with an alien. And that's where we go from there.
Yeah, and that was Norwegian.
I did the same thing McCready did.
Yeah. I was going to comment on that. It's like, it was Norwegian, but they make that same joke in the movie, so it's perfectly appropriate.
It's damn Swedes. Yeah. They're from Norway, actually.
Yeah.
And the alien, the titular thing, can imitate pretty much anything. Down to an exact T. It's to the point where
for metal.
Oh, I did not know that.
There's a thing where it can't replicate metal.
In the prequel, they do this because they couldn't redo the blood test thing.
Yeah.
So in the prequel, the way they figure out if you're the thing is that your fillings aren't there. So there's a line in that one that's actually pretty good when someone's just like, so you're going to kill me because I floss?
Okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen the 2011 one.
Dude, I tried to watch it. It didn't do anything for me.
No, it's not great.
Did not like it in theaters, but
great.
We rewatched it, and also there was a documentary specifically about special effects, which focused on the Thing prequel, and that made me be a lot more forgiving to it, because originally,
they made all the puppets.
I think maybe we should save this for the crapshoot, but
yeah,
sure,
we can save it.
Yeah.
Go on with your synopsis.
There's a story, but
can replicate anybody.
Yep.
When this came out, it did not really get a whole lot of love, pretty much at all. I think this came out in the same week as 82. Was it 18?
Blade Runner.
E.T.
No, E.T. was a few weeks prior. This came out on the same day as Blade Runner.
Okay.
And they both got critically shit on.
Yeah. And this
Blade Runner?
Yeah, Blade Runner did not do good in the theater either.
No.
Oh no.
And this really only got respect years after the fact. Not even once it hit home video. I think maybe almost into the 90s almost, when people started kind of picking up on it.
Yeah. Was
it one of those movies that once it hit cable, everyone's just like, "Oh, this is amazing"?
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't understand how you don't pick up on it. I want to Siskel and Ebert famously shit on it too, I think.
Yeah. I think a part of that was the resurgence that it had was more 90s centric, because this style of horror was more palatable in the 90s.
Yeah.
If you go back to 82, there's nothing really that's this gory or this special effects driven.
Well, also I think the paranoia probably turned people off at the time, because this is 82. The height of the Cold War. Yeah. Everybody's just, I don't think that type of feeling in a movie is going to register with people. Everybody's just sick of that already in real life.
Yeah, because they really mastered that, in terms of horror, that whole Red Scare paranoia thing. They mastered that in the remake of Body Snatchers.
Yeah, which we also have talked about.
So 100%. Yeah, it's where do you go from there? So you've got that just beautiful piece of cinema with paranoia and good effects. I guess they just tried to go way over the top with the effects on this one and kind of downplayed the paranoia to a degree.
See, I don't think so. I think this is I know for me anyway, it's kind of an uncomfortable movie to watch, in that I know for me, I'm constantly figuring out okay, this person was alone for a couple of minutes, they could be infected. I always play the game whenever I watch this of who got infected when.
Yeah, it's like watching Clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing the puzzle.
Yeah.
Trying to piece together everything,
Trying to just figure out who now is infected. When did this person get infected? I think the paranoia, on rewatches, you especially can build that puzzle for yourself. It just, on the first watch, it just comes out very bleak, because everyone's just kind of sad and alone.
Yeah. They set the tone really, really well. You feel like these guys have been out in the wilderness, in the Antarctic, alone for a long time. The snowy tundra.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do a lot of time fast forwarding that you have to listen to catch, because they'll just be like, it's been 48 hours since the snow. In the last scene, they'll be like, it's going to snow in 6 hours. So you're like, okay, it's like 2 days later.
Yeah.
So they're like, through that sort of thing, they go through like 2 weeks of time.
Yep.
And it only takes you like 45 minutes. So.
Yeah, and they do a really good job of portraying everybody's personalities. Like through the personality, or through the paranoia and how everybody reacts to the different situations. Like Kurt Russell's character, like he's just awake and constantly watching everybody, and you can feel how tired he is by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we knew that he was on edge to begin with, because he starts out ruining a computer because he couldn't beat it at chess.
Yeah.
That's the first thing he does.
I thought that was the perfect setup to his character, because it's just like, here's a man who just like will not accept losing.
Yeah, that's actually perfect.
Yeah.
So we know going in, oh, he's this guy. He will destroy equipment because no, screw you.
Yeah.
With his big giant Carly Simon hat.
Oh my god. That thing is absurd.
Oh, there's one time where he's going outside and he puts his hat on, and I remember thinking, like, what is that supposed to do right now? Yeah. What is that supposed to do in Antarctica?
Yeah.
Exactly?
Other than get caught by the wind and fly away. Like,
yeah.
Right.
He's straight up wearing, this is a Seinfeld reference, so I'm probably dating myself, but he's wearing the urban sombrero. Like,
yes. Yes, he is. This is a giant hat.
With his gigantic sunglasses, yep.
Oh, man.
So yeah, they find an alien and things just go downhill from there. Well, they don't even really find it. Like, they bring in the dog, and the dog's there for like 2 days before they figure out that something's weird with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't understand, like, maybe I was being a little bit too cautious of, like, why they would put that dog with the other dogs.
Well, they didn't know there was anything wrong with it. They just went, oh, new dog.
But still, like, they've got to know something is up. Like, that's the, I was about to say the Swedish dude. The Norwegian dude was like he was trying to shoot it. Like, he obviously,
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, if you see somebody flying a helicopter, shooting at a dog, throwing fucking grenades at a dog, do you think there's something wrong with the dog or the guy?
That's fair.
That's true, but I mean, like, they knew that they were other, like, scientists. So, like, it's not going to be some crazy... They're in the middle of fucking Antarctica.
Yeah.
It's not going to be some crazy redneck, like, driving around in an ATV for the weekend.
I think they were supposed to be chalking it up to cabin fever.
Yeah, just isolation. Going crazy,
Yeah.
They mentioned that they were only there for 8 weeks, and they're just like, but that's not long enough to go crazy. I do think this is one of the things, like, on rewatch, you're like, well, that's obviously the thing.
Yeah.
But if, they didn't see the chase scene that we saw, so all they know is a helicopter lands, a guy gets off with a gun, shouts at them in Norwegian, and then shoots one of theirs in the leg.
Yeah.
That's all they know.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a dog there too, but it's just like, they don't know the language, so they don't know he's shooting at the dog.
Yeah. We also own huskies, though, so I wonder if that changes how we view the dog.
It could be.
Because even with, like, the tendrils coming out, I'm still like, aw, puppy.
Oh, during the kennel scene, like, after, because last time we watched this was before we had huskies. So we watched this now, having huskies in our house. And as soon as it puts in the kennel, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
I don't want to watch this scene.
Oh no, the puppies.
That scene was so good. Like, all the effects in this movie were just so good.
Yeah, I really wish that I, because this movie has just been always around as far as, as I've known, it's 82.
Yeah.
I really wish I didn't know what was coming, just for like the complete what the fuck when this like dog like
when the head splits open.
and like it just all these things start coming out of it.
Crab legs come out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And there's that one dog that turns around and starts gnawing away chunks of the fence.
Yeah.
To try to get out.
Yep. That's the one that gets sprayed with the goo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The actor dog in that moment has a tail wagging, is like clearly having a grand time until getting sprayed. And it's just like, I hate this.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for this.
I'm done here.
Yeah. I would like my treat now, please. Thank you.
I think the great dog actors in this movie. The dogs, A+ acting.
Absolutely.
I sent online the whole thing about the particular dog actor that I do think we should talk about when we talk about what other actors have been in because this one dog actor did actually go on to do other things.
Yeah, Rowyn specifically requested that we talk about the dog.
All right. I'm down for it.
Just a pre-warning that we're going to talk about Jed.
Hey, we've talked about dogs before.
Yeah.
So.
What was the other dog we talked about?
I don't remember.
Yeah, me neither. It was a few episodes ago.
Aw. But yeah, he's a dog actor.
Was the dog from Pumpkinhead?
It might have been the dog from Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Either way, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. So yeah, the tension setup is great with the release of the monster. Like there's a perfect amount of monster in this, I think.
Yeah.
It's only on screen maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, there's maybe like 4 or 5 maybe like big encounters with the monster.
It's very like Jaws-esque.
Yeah.
But I mean not as subtle as Jaws would be, because it's a giant gory monster. But I think if they did more, it would have been too much. It was just the right amount.
There are long lulls of no monster, and then there's just a scene where it's all monster all the time.
Yep.
And then it just drops back down to like them having normal conversations about like, are we eating beans tonight?
Yeah.
Well, also the subtle moments. Like there's one moment where monster, presumably corpse, is covered, and Windows is looking at him and saying, we should really just burn this. And he walks away, and as soon as he walks away, we see the sheet move.
Yeah, like does one breath in the forefront of the scene, and it was just like rewatching it, I'm just like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's subtle and it's creepy, and Windows knows something happened, but there's no proof.
Yep. It's all about like that tension setup and then the release. Like it works the same way like a good piece of music works. So you've got like your soft intro or whatever, and then it gets to this really dramatic part, and then it takes you back out, and there's all the softness so that when it gets crazy, it seems way more crazy.
Yeah.
Crescendo.
No, and then I loved it. That's the rest of the movie, is as soon as they figure out this thing can imitate people, it's just amping up the suspense and then revealing that there's a thing there, and then everyone drops back down to, are we good now? And then the suspense ramps back up, and they find signs that the thing's still there.
Those lulls really are like the scariest part, because it's, if there's a monster in front of you, like what you have to fight. It's right there. It's a thing. Right. But it's when you're in those lulls, just like, is this the monster? Is that the monster? Is he the monster? Like, that's the shit that drives you crazy. Like, absolutely perfect setup in this movie.
Like John Carpenter is really good at setting up drama. Like Halloween doesn't get enough respect for the drama and the tension that it has. Like it's the classic like slasher movie. It's like the birth of the slasher, but it's done in such an artistic way.
And that's the thing though, is it had to start somewhere. It's like when people talk about Resident Evil games and say, oh well, it's too much like other games, but it started that.
Yeah,
all the other games
are ripping it off.
What it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same thing with the Carpenter
There
movies.
really wasn't survival horror. When Resident Evil first came out, I was bad at it because I was raised on Doom. So I would just try to kill all the zombies and you die on the first screen.
Yeah.
You can't.
So I think with Halloween, it's a similar thing. We look at it now and we're like, oh, it's a slasher or whatever. But Halloween, like you said, it's iconic. It started this,
Absolutely.
Those classic horror slashers.
Yeah, and it was all downhill from there, too. So, it's like, whatever.
And everything winds up in space. Why does everything wind up in space?
let's not disparage the cinematic masterpiece that is Jason Takes Manhattan. That's
different.
That one holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah, I watched that a lot when I was younger.
Oh God.
There's nothing there's punching somebody's head off.
Yeah. We and there's lots of bad movies that I thoroughly enjoy, so I'm not gonna shame anyone for their
for sure.
Jason Takes Manhattan love.
Yeah.
It's enjoying for a different reason. That's all. But, man, the thing I keep comparing the 1982 to all the other things we watched, and the thing that they really did take from the one it's supposedly a remake of is the title sequence. And the way the title sequence was done with The Thing.
The way the title burns away.
Oh, yeah.
That's the same.
They did that the same.
Yeah.
I think with the ship, like, crash landing.
Yeah, it's like they burned a garbage bag in front of, like, an aquarium or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically,
And they have all the light.
They had a stencil, and they just put up some plastic and then just put a heat source under it and let it melt away.
Yeah.
Think of all the things to keep. But I love it. I love that carried over. What didn't carry over... The Thing 1982 is the only The Thing to not have any women present. All the other things had ladies.
Yeah.
But not the 1982.
Well, women weren't allowed in movies in the 80s. You didn't know that? unless they were
This
topless.
is man's business.
Yeah, unless they were topless.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Yeah.
If you had in a woman, that they probably wouldn't have given her like a good role.
Lines.
So.
Oh no, it would have been bad.
Yeah. So some executive would be like, she needs a shower scene, and it just would have ruined the movie. So
Yeah.
Like, the 50s one was so casual. There's like a diner moment, and there's a lady, there's like this little love story going on, and she's all flirtatious, and it was a very, very different movie. And the 1982, I can't reasonably call it a remake. But I love the 1982 so much more anyway.
Yeah,
same source material.
It's very
drastically.
It's very much like I'm experiencing right now with Dune. So I went and saw Dune recently, and I was telling people about it. Oh, I went and saw Dune, and they constantly, oh, is that a remake of that one with Sting?
No.
It's not a remake. It's the same
It's just
story.
another Dune.
Like there was a book, and then they made a movie, and then this is just a different movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still need to see the new one.
Oh, it's so
really
good.
good.
It's sexy. Oh my god. Holy shit. Dune is so good.
He just really likes sand.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of Anakin Skywalker.
Exactly. He likes that it gets everywhere.
I love sand, of course, and it gets everywhere.
Some people are into that.
Oh man. Yeah. But no, seriously, go watch Dune. Like,
I will.
Oh.
It's on my list. I definitely need to see the new Dune because I love all the older Dunes despite their flaws. So I will see the new Dune. I just need to.
I didn't like
put it in the.
Didn't like the David Lynch. Loved the sci-fi miniseries, and I have said that before on this podcast, I believe, and I will say it until the day I die.
Yeah, I just recently rewatched the David Lynch one. It took me like 3 sittings to get through.
Yeah.
As long as we're off on a tangent, have you seen Jodorowsky's Dune about the director Jodorowsky and their plan to make a Dune movie that could not get financed?
No, but I heard about it.
I highly suggest it. It's a quick, easy watch, and it's basically just a documentary about a movie that never happened. But the vision of how to bring Dune to screen, it's so. I guess cocaine fueled is the best way to describe it.
All the best things are.
Yeah.
It's just, that would have been something.
Oh, man.
It would have been something.
All right.
But,
so we're going to boil this down, the review section, right now with our scores. So, Chris, what do you score this movie, 1 through 10?
I feel like I've handed out the most 10s on this podcast.
You've handed out all the 10s.
just be honest. Just feel what you feel.
Yeah.
This really is a masterpiece of horror. I like we were talking about, just the feeling of paranoia, just the movie just instills in you watching it. The effects are top notch. I think the acting is all top notch. Like there's no way you cannot give this movie a 10.
So do you want to bust it down to the regular movie scale and then the horror movie scale, because those do tend to skew differently, or do you want to just go they knocked it out of the park, it's a 10?
I really think they knocked it out of the park with this movie. Like it was not appreciated in its time. Like it was ahead of its time, basically, I think.
Oh, 100%.
Agreed. Yeah.
It's just, I mean, like, look at these effects. You don't, like, this movie is 40 years old and we don't get effects this good now.
No, absolutely not.
It's true.
This is where we wrap back into the 2011 and the ruination of that later on. So.
Yeah.
You're gonna stick with the 10?
I'm trying to think of things to like ding it on. I mean, like,
if I had to ding it on anything, the story itself gets a little muddy. The end of Act 2 into Act 3.
Yeah, I mean, there really isn't much of a story other than we know this thing is here. Like they can't get out. It's not like they can go anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, they're stuck there until, like I said, until the rescue party comes.
Yeah.
If they even come at all. So who knows? Like, yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything to ding this movie on.
Okay. I'm a solid like 8.5.
Really? I thought you were going to be at least a 9 on this.
I'm very close, but like I said, it gets a little muddy. Act 2 and Act 3. I do like the ambiguous ending they left it with. But it could have been a little stronger. But there's really not like, and I'm like nitpicking. I'm like trying to, because I don't want to give anything a 10 ever, because that just like sets this gold standard of impossibility.
You're like my least favorite teachers.
Yeah, sorry.
See, like when I give something a 10, though, like I'm putting it on. Like, it's not that I think it's completely perfect, but it's on that tier of movies for me that like I could just watch this whenever under any condition.
Yeah,
you know, I don't like. I love this movie. So that's why it gets the 10 for me. That's what I'm thinking when I get a 10.
Yeah, I gotta stick with my 8.5 because I mean, as much as I do love the effects, every once in a while you come across something in here that does look real cheesy, and I think that's just because they don't have like a reference for anything like this. I mean, like, at the time. How do you even
describe one of these monsters? Like,
well,
there's like a face and a half, like. There's some crab legs, and it's got a bunch of eyes on it.
Yeah, like the weird twisted dog head that they find is just like kind of goofy looking. Like,
do you think that would be fixed by not being like HD?
Yeah,
like if it was like a VHS.
If I had that grain to it, it might jump it up to a 9.5. But yeah, so I'm gonna.
I wonder if that would fix it.
It may. So I'm gonna stick there. What do you guys think?
What do you say?
So I can nitpick this movie. There are things it has about it that like is as a piece of cinema you can say, oh, this is like it does suffer from a little bit of Carpenteritis where the third act is like so much a jolt away from everything else and everything happens so violently so quickly. But if you put on The Thing, I'll never be disappointed.
Oh yeah.
Like I can nitpick this effect and this shot and this line, but straight up, if you put on The Thing, I'm happy to watch it 10 out of 10.
Okay.
And I think that I think before I rewatched it, I would have put it at an 8. But rewatching it, I did realize how much it stood up and still works.
Oh, it's
and still looks good.
Still like super strong.
And that made me go, okay, so this is like a 9.5 or a 10. Just by the nature of it doesn't look as dated as I expected it to look.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that enough is like, you know what, I'm proud of you, The Thing.
I think the most dated looking thing in this movie is Wilford Brimley.
Every single computer is just like, oh yeah, they used to look like that.
Yeah. Oh
I'm
yeah.
fine now. I want to go inside.
When that chess computer was like the height of technology.
That's all that was. That was just a chess computer. It was a whole ass computer dedicated to playing chess.
It had 5 circuits and it took up a room and all it did was play chess poorly.
And apparently it did not appreciate scotch.
No. But there was one simulation moment on a computer.
Yeah,
where it's like showing what the cells do.
Yeah.
And we were looking at that like, are we looking at this? No, this is just what he's decided. This is a simulation. Oh, this is War Games.
Yeah, it looked like asteroids. So
yeah, Wilford Brimley sat there and programmed a simulation based on him looking at cells in a microscope.
And he wasn't going to show anybody else.
That's a suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, why are you coding animation? Like,
yeah.
Then he didn't show anyone else. He only showed himself. And then he got a gun out.
And then he got mad that no one knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When poor Child's just like, hey, could you maybe chill out for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
One of my favorite like scenes of the movie is Wilford Brimley's out in the shed, and they go out to talk to him. He's got the noose hanging next to him. Like, I'm fine now.
Yeah, let me
out.
Come
back inside.
Yeah.
And the noose is just hanging there in the forefront.
I wasn't okay. I got better. I'm fine now. Let me back inside.
You're not listening. I want to come back inside.
Yeah, and that's not the only noose in the movie either.
No. So Mike, this is something I was asking myself. He's clearly infected before he goes into the shed, right? Wilford Brimley?
I don't know.
I think so. I think that's why he's destroying the computers.
I think he's destroying the computer so that the thing can't know that he knows. But I think he gets infected once he's out in the shed. He's out there for alone long enough. It's very easy for someone else to slip in and infect him, or just taint his food.
See,
one of the first things.
I was gonna say what I was thinking.
One of the first things he says. Sorry.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
You go. This is one of the first things he says when he's in there. He says, "I keep hearing things outside.
I hear strange things."
Yeah.
And then he tells them to go after somebody else.
Because I was thinking
Fuchs.
he was infected when he was examining the corpse. What they thought was the dead version of it.
That's possible.
Yeah, because he even says in his notes, like, this thing isn't dead. Like, it's still alive.
So he might have been infected then, and then it might have just taken him over.
We did have this
later.
conversation with a friend of ours who is actually a research scientist with, like, diseases. And because no one in this movie has, like, safety goggles on or, like, a respirator mask.
Yeah.
They all
He's
have gloves
examining
that
this
come up to,
alien
like, the
corpse with
shallow
a pair
part
of
of the
rubber
wrist.
gloves.
Well, I don't think they had any of that equipment here.
He's elbow deep in this still alive thing corpse with gloves that only come up to his wrist.
Yeah.
Like they're all during the blood test. They're all cutting their finger with the same scalpel, even though they know this thing is highly infectious down to a single cell.
Yeah.
What gets me is when McCready is holding the petri dish filled with blood, with the fucking trying to like make it catch on fire or get hot with the little stick.
Yeah.
And he's holding it so close to his face.
Yeah.
Knowing what it'll do.
It's like, one of these blood samples is going to resist this. Let me put it as close to my mouth as possible.
I think that was a great thing, though, because as they're going through the blood samples, he's picking up and holding them closer and closer to his face.
Yeah.
So just, like, subtly in your brain, you're just like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, he's about to take a shot of that fucking red eye from Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah. And when it finally does its thing and pops out, the reaction looks genuine. It looks like he knew the puppet was coming at some point, and oh my god, there it is.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
I appreciate it.
The thing you just said about the scalpel, like, that actually plays into a theory that I was reading. While I was watching it, I was like debunking it, but basically they're saying, like, by the end of the movie, McCready is infected. And, like, I think that would have been the point where he was infected, if he was in fact infected, from the scalpel.
Yeah.
That they all used on themselves. They point to the fact that when everything blows up, McCready's shed is still, like, untouched. It's not on fire. It's, it hasn't been blown up in the explosion. And then at the very end of the movie, when they pan out, it's on fire. So somebody had to have set that on fire. They were thinking probably him.
Yeah.
And he's just waiting. Like, he's the one who said, like, this thing's just waiting. It's going to just go dormant, basically. It's going to wait in the cold until somebody shows up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When they found his...
I was going to say, I have information on that.
Oh. Well, I was going to say, another thing that plays into that, too, is that his is the only blood test we don't see, like, carried out. He just has a petri dish with his blood in it. He just pulls out.
Yeah.
You don't see him actually, like, prick his thumb and then put it in.
Yeah.
What about the torn clothing?
Yeah,
because he makes it sound like someone left his jacket that had his name on it all torn up.
That does seem like a setup, though, because several people find his torn clothing in several different locations.
That's true.
Yeah.
Fuchs is it Fuchs? I always get people's names mixed up in this movie.
I think so.
Yeah.
Fuchs finds his clothing originally, and then they find Fuchs' burned corpse, and then Knowles, the cook,
Knowles,
he finds the torn clothing when he's out with McCready to check out McCready's cabin. So, like, unless he's just super bad at hiding this clothing, someone is hiding it where people will find it.
Yeah. Yeah. So is he just being set?
I think it's all set. I think that's all set up. I think because he was leading a lot of these, like, investigations and being very alpha for this whole thing. I think the thing was trying to set him up with everybody else against him while it kind of worked in the background.
I agree, and I also want to point out that previous to that, the thing would have been present when the other leadership had been thrown into question and had to relinquish it. Who was the guy with the gun? Bennings or Vance? The previous leader, the guy who shot the Norwegian.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember his name.
I think it was Vance.
When the blood was found to be sabotaged and they had the whole standoff, he relinquished command because he was thrown into question.
Yeah.
And at the end, we find out he was human all along. So I think the Thing saw that and said, okay, McCready's in leadership. We'll throw him into question, and then no one will be in charge.
Yeah.
I mean, McCready also killed someone that was totally human. So,
Yeah.
That's all around. There had to be a lot of characters because they all die.
Clark was the one he shot in the head who ended up being human. Which, just like, good for Clark. I suspected him from the beginning. He hung out with the dogs. Yeah. He hung out with the dogs a lot.
When he's bringing the dog to the cage, he's doing it really like slowly and awkwardly. And I thought that was like kind of an indication that he might have been infected.
Hey, just because you're slow and awkward doesn't mean you're an alien. Okay? I happen to be slow and awkward. I'm pretty sure I'm not an alien. That you know of.
And once he was told that, was it Blair who killed all the other dogs?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wilford Brimley.
Someone killed all the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his response was to run and be like, oh no, my dogs. So I felt like that was a human enough response. That either he's upset that the other things are dead, or he's upset that my dogs are dead.
Dogs.
And either way, very human response.
Yep. All right. So we are going to go on to our IMDb trivia segment. Yes. And these are not always the most accurate of facts, but because I found them on the internet, I'm going to go ahead and say they're 100% true.
They're open for debate.
Yeah. But we will...
They're true on the internet.
They're true, true enough. John Carpenter has stated that this is one of his personal favorite movies that he has ever directed. Which I think is fair. Like, I think this was his first big budget movie. So I think it had a special place in his heart.
This was just post Halloween, if I recall correctly. It was like 1 or 2 years after. So I think he might have had some clout from that to actually get some more funding.
I think he did one movie between these.
So Halloween was what, 78?
So. Yeah.
This was 82, so there's a little bit of a gap there.
Yeah.
That's true. I do want to point out, because I did jot it down because it's impressive. So in 23 years, John Carpenter directed 15 movies, and this is absent what he wrote and produced outside of that.
Yeah.
And I would consider 9 of those must-watches. Even if they're a little bad, I'd still say you should watch it if you're a fan of horror.
You don't have Prince of Darkness on there, do you?
I don't, but you can if you want.
I've never seen that. I haven't heard good things. That's why I haven't watched it.
I tried to watch it, and it was very meh. Like, it was very middle of the road.
Okay, I think the trick is
I don't think it's a classic.
Watch it together and just Mystery Science Theater it, and then you can get through it.
Yeah.
I think that's the trick. You make it a group effort. You have some beer. You make it a thing.
Yeah.
You make it a party, and you're good.
We can do that.
Prince of Darkness.
I think we'll do that.
Do it.
We'll drunk stream a movie.
Yeah.
Well, one thing you can do with Prince of Darkness is you can take a drink every time you see something that someone else then adapted into a better movie later on.
Ooh.
There's a lot of that in Prince of Darkness.
That's true.
Yikes.
There's a lot of ideas that aren't fully fleshed out that someone else then took the reins and did better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big yikes energy on that one.
Don't kill yourselves, people. They take some water between your shots.
The film is considered a benchmark in special effects makeup. The effects were created by Rob Bottin.
Bottin.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
It's spelled Bottin.
Yeah, it's spelled Bottin. It's pronounced Bottin.
Yeah, whatever.
Bottin.
Who was only 22 when he started the project, which is fucking impressive and makes me feel like a failure.
Yeah.
He's the B in K&B effects.
What's that?
He's the B in K&B effects.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I'm learning something every day.
Yeah.
When the dog wanders down a hallway and pauses outside a door, we see a shadow of one of the men, beckoning it in. John Carpenter wanted it to be mysterious which character was involved, so he didn't use any of the actors to cast that shadow.
Yeah, I did spend the next couple of scenes trying to figure out who that hair belonged to.
Yeah, and you'll never know.
That's funny.
I thought it was the old Commander Vance because he had the same It's kind of like a cowlick type of thing in the front.
Yeah.
That's who I thought it was. I knew it wasn't George, because at that point I figured he might have already been infected.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's the first one that like is consumed by the thing when he's him and Windows are left alone.
Based on the profile, I always assumed it was, I'm forgetting names left and right, but it's the guy who turns down command with the heart issue later on.
Yes, yeah. I forget that guy's name, but I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
I assumed it was him, and then we had a whole discussion about, did the thing copy his heart issue too well?
Yeah.
So because when the dog comes out, it goes into one door, stops, and then keeps going. So I thought that first room was that guy George, the one who got shot when the dog like first ran up to him.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think it was that anymore.
Well, he gets assimilated later.
Yeah.
The guy who you don't have to assimilate someone twice, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, it didn't take. Try again.
Yeah. Unused music composed for this film was later used by Ennio Morricone in Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight.
Oh.
And ironically, the Thing score was nominated for a Razzie for worst score.
Really?
Yeah.
I was actually surprised rewatching this movie because I'm just like, the score starts and I'm like, it's a very Carpenter-esque score. And then the music by comes up and it's not Carpenter.
Yeah, that's because Morricone was styling his compositions after what John Carpenter would normally do. So it's like his version. Carpenter. Now,
that's cool.
But what's fucked up and why people have like this weird hard-on for Quentin Tarantino, it won an Oscar in Hateful Eight. It's the same fucking music.
But it got shit on.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No.
I don't like that at all. That's not cool.
It makes me feel bad.
Yeah. Oh.
How rude.
Yeah. It's like there's no consistency in awards. What?
Yeah. Whoa, that's weird.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
It's like there's no standards and everybody's just going with what's popular.
Yeah.
Weird. So we had talked about this before. This opened on the same day as Ridley Scott's Blade Runner, and the similarities don't end there because both movies met with unfavorable reactions by critics at premiere, but are now considered as some of the greatest films ever made. Which
critics were just wrong. Just flat out, they were wrong.
Yeah.
It's
like both of those movies were so far ahead of their time. It's just ridiculous.
I want to say this is even on like the AFI like top 100 now. Like,
oh, more than likely.
Yeah. I don't get it. How do you see it? I just go like, piece of shit.
I think you have to put yourself in a 1982 mindset because like
no one wants that.
Ain't nobody needing that shit.
Get in line for gas. Feel the feels.
Yeah. Right? I don't know. Like, yeah, man, ketchup is a vegetable, whatever.
Oh God.
I think it's a lot to do with the effects and the gore and the unrelenting nature of the horror.
Automatically discounted for being a horror movie.
Yeah.
I could see that in 82. Like, someone just sees, like, the blood spurts and is just like, well, this is lowbrow, and doesn't, like, pay attention to the movie.
Yeah. And horror movies always get a bad rap. Like, if you actually pay attention and you go through, like any... like, if you're flipping through, like, Amazon Prime and looking at the horror movies and you see the star rating... even ones that, like, casual horror fans consider, like, good movies... have low star ratings because people just automatically go horror movie, tank it.
Yeah.
It's like nobody gives a shit.
That's obnoxious.
Yeah,
it really is. Moving right along, it took Kurt Russell around a year to grow the famous beard and hair McCready sports.
I can see that. This is a very very hirsute individual in this movie.
Yes, it is a hirsute.
Yeah.
That is a beard of commitment.
Yeah.
It's a
friend figured
it's commanding.
Yeah, our friend figured maybe McCready didn't think he needed to wear any kind of mask or face shield while he was holding the petri dish because he had the beard.
It's got like a foot of beard, yeah.
Auto filter just through the beard.
They would just get stuck in it,
Yeah, he's got that N95 beard.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so here's some casting could have beens. Nick Nolte turned down the role of MacReady, as did
thank God.
As did Jeff Bridges. Bill Lancaster wrote the script with Harrison Ford and Clint Eastwood in the lead role, and both men were considered. On top of this, a relatively unknown Fred Ward campaigned for the role.
Oh, wow.
That would have been too Harrison Ford for him. It would have been that and Blade Runner.
I would have liked to have seen Jeff Bridges. Like, I think that would have, that could, out of all those, like, names, I think that's the only one that would have worked.
Jeff Bridges, I think, could have pulled it off.
Nick Nolte in 82, he could have done it.
Yeah, that's actually true also.
You got
Nick Nolte was a hot property for a while, but if you really look back, like, he was very hit and miss even in his hot era.
You know, though, I think he could have done it, but I think it would have been a very different MacReady.
He would have been much more unhinged.
He would have been a lot, just like a lot angrier.
Oh, God damn thing.
Yeah.
I'll blow us all to hell.
Whereas Kurt Russell's was like, just kind of tired, just done.
You ever hear the Patton Oswalt bit about Nick Nolte as Han Solo?
No.
Because he was apparently almost cast as Han Solo.
Yeah.
He's like, it would have been like 3 movies of him just going, oh, God damn it, Chewbacca, you got the hyperdrive over here.
Don't get cocky, kid.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, and in 82, he didn't quite have the Tom Waits voice. It was getting there.
Yeah.
But he had it perfected by Tropic Thunder.
Yes.
I just know the sound it makes when it kills a man.
That was good use of Nick Nolte.
Oh, amazing. And I think he knew it, too. Fred Ward would have been an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Again, very different, though.
Yeah, I have trouble imagining it.
Because, like, I'm picturing, like, Tremors Fred Ward, and, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, like, it might have been good, but, like, I don't see him, like... I always kind of give him, like, a little bit more of, like, comedic, like, you know, I think of him more comedically, I think.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
The final confrontation with the Thing required the assistance of 50 technicians.
50?
What was the final...
See, we were talking about this too, because this was previous to to Tremors. But they did the whole, like, the Thing coming at you under the ground and, like, the boards flying up.
Yes, yeah.
So we were talking about, like, what... I can't think of a movie before this that did that, but I don't know for sure.
Like a really...
The closest I could think was, good... Raimi movies.
Like a really good, like, burrowing scene kind of thing you're talking about?
Yeah, like the floorboards are popping up. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm trying to think, and, like...
Was there anything like that in any of the Evil Dead movies?
That could have been.
It feels like a Raimi thing, but I don't know if that actually happened.
I don't think so. I think he would have had like I think he would have had the floorboards like fluttering, but I don't think he had any like crazy burrow scenes like that.
Maybe not.
Like just pulling a ramp under floorboards to make them fly in the air.
I think I just attribute everything to him.
Yeah.
He did a lot
like
of stuff.
most camera work and like all kinds of things. Like it was really
nobody did reverse camera work like Sam Raimi.
Seriously.
Let's see here. What's the next one? John Carpenter took pains to create mainly muted tones of color in both costumes and set so that Rob Bottin's eye-popping colorful gore would leap off the screen.
And I was talking about the lighting, too.
Oh, the lighting's amazing. The colored lights are just perfect.
With the blue and the red. And
the extreme color of the lights just amp up as the movie gets further along.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Like, when they have blackouts, they don't even bother doing day for night. They just blue light everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you get that little bit of, like, maybe there's some moonlight shining off the snow coming in kind of thing, where it's just really, really well done. Like, so much of this movie is really well done. Do you know what John Carpenter didn't think was really well done?
What's that?
The movie poster for this.
Really?
Yeah, when the glow face poster for The Thing was shown to John Carpenter after the disastrous previews, they felt it was the final nail in the coffin and were utterly crestfallen by it.
Oh man, it's become iconic since.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It was presented as a take it or leave it option, and John felt after striving to get away from the man in the suit horror trope their poster showed, a man in a suit. So John Carpenter thought it made the film look like a slasher movie and commented they should have just painted a bloody knife in his hand.
Now,
because
was it Fuchs? I don't remember which character. One of the characters where they meet up with him and he's already thingified, and he still looks like him except for his hands.
It was George.
George?
Yeah.
And he's just sort of on his knees and screams. The thing about that, because talking about man in a suit, just in a monster suit.
Yep.
That, I feel like was a callback to the one from the 1950s, because the one that's a carrot just looks like a guy with weird hands.
He's just a bald guy with weird hands.
He's just a bald guy with weird hands. And so something about it just being the hands, so it was like, oh, maybe it's supposed to be the carrot.
Part of it is it's in black and white, so they didn't really differentiate him visually. He just looks like a Frankenstein with weird hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, you keep saying, like, it's a carrot, and all I can think about is, like, that scene in Monkey Bone where Brendan Fraser had drawn himself as, like, a carrot or some sort of root vegetable.
I'm picturing the vegetable gremlin from Gremlins 2.
The 1950s is like, it's a cookie cutter 1950s, because they're just like, this is a planet where vegetables evolved instead of men, and it's so much more advanced than us, and it never like speaks or does anything.
It just kind of lays there.
It's just like, it's beyond our understanding. It's too smart for us.
Also, the other thing that they harken back to in the 1982, the other thing they're like, oh, this is the thing that they did over there.
This is the thing about the thing?
Yeah, was that when they're all staying in a circle and they figure out it's the big ship, in order to get it out, they go, oh, we'll just blow it up.
With thermite.
Perfect.
And they destroy it.
Perfect.
Utterly destroy it. Which means, okay, now you have this spaceman.
Well, just
who
they are
just
American,
killed his
right?
Ride. You just destroyed his ride.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm kind of on Team Carrot. Because I think I would have also responded with trying to strangle you with my weird hands.
Yes, yeah.
Like,
you just blew up my fucking car, man. Like,
yeah.
So this reminded me when Blair, they find the ship that Blair is building under the shack.
Yeah.
It very much reminds me of Rick Sanchez's like UFO car.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It just slapped together trash. It's like, it's a spaceship. I'm like, he built a spaceship out of some aluminum siding
like trash
and
cans.
A gas generator.
Yeah. All right, what's next on the list?
Next on the list, Entertainment Weekly ranked this as the 12th scariest movie of all time.
All right.
I can see that.
Yeah. I would like to know what the other 11 movies are.
Yeah.
I bet you The Exorcist is probably number one.
I'm almost going to guarantee that.
Yeah. Which
it's in the top 5.
Bitch. Don't get me wrong. I
wasn't allowed in my parents' house.
I am in love with that movie, but it does not deserve the like number one scariest movie of all time. Reputation that it has. It is.
The Exorcist is like the only horror movie I wasn't allowed to see until I was an adult. Because it wasn't allowed to be in the house.
Really?
Because even though we had the book and all the sequels, my dad was terrified of The Exorcist. My mom hated Reanimator. My dad hated The Exorcist.
Ugh.
And I didn't understand until years later when my dad was like, well, she reminds me too much of your sister. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess.
No.
Cool.
In my house, it was pretty much like no holds barred. Like, my dad loved horror movies. And so I would watch them with him, or like I would go with my grandparents and rent movies, and they would just like not really pay attention to what I was watching.
Yeah.
So
my dad didn't give a shit. My mom like put the squash on that though if she got me.
Every other horror movie I'd watch with my dad.
Yeah.
Except The Exorcist.
I appreciate The Exorcist for its point in cinema, but like if someone puts on The Exorcist, I'm not as happy as if someone puts on The Thing.
We're Jewish. Isn't The Exorcist automatically less scary for us?
I would think so.
None of this applies to us. Yeah. We're not a part of this.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not dealing with this shit. Like,
Step 1, don't be that version of Catholic.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Seriously.
We're Protestant now. That's it.
Be Episcopalian or something.
Yes.
Oh, man. Okay, so here's some more casting. Bernie Casey, Isaac Hayes, Jeffrey Holder, Ernie Hudson, and Carl Weathers were all considered for the role of Childs.
Oh, Ernie Hudson.
Yeah.
I'm really glad they got Keith David. Like, we should just stop and appreciate Keith David's career.
Yeah.
That
Keith,
man.
he does not get the respect he deserves.
No.
Yeah.
He's way better than David Keith, also. Let me just say that right now.
Like, just his voice acting career is something to aspire to, and then you throw in his live acting too.
Oh, hell yeah.
I really feel like
hero.
in the next 10 years, he's going to be the guy, like the voiceover guy who takes over for like Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Like he'll be that, like the guy with the gravitas, like, you know.
Well, he already did Nova for PBS. He was already the voiceover guy for Nova.
Oh, he's well on his way then, yeah.
So he's done that.
So he's gonna be the guy.
All right. So our next fact is the split face thing was originally based on a clay press of actor Robert Picardo, and most people are going to know him as the Doctor from Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
Now I'm trying to picture.
I'm trying to think of something else he's been in. I'm like, I'm drawing a blank.
That's all I can think of.
Yeah.
There's like an Outer Limits episode. Like when I spot him, I'm like, oh, it's Robert Picardo, but like I can't.
He's got like dark hair. He's like kind of balding, like kind of.
Very, very balding.
Yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Let me to the internet.
He played a lot of assholes in the late '80s, if I remember properly.
He plays like sarcastic asshole very well.
Yeah.
Let me see here. I just pulled up his IMDb.
I only know him from Star Trek. That's probably not true. I probably have seen him in a million.
He's in a shit
It's the
ton
guy.
of stuff.
That guy.
I know
one of
him.
those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Like the guy from Lost had his iconic role, but he was on TV for like 2 decades prior to that.
Yeah.
Like just no one noticed until Lost.
Yeah.
You look very like intent. Like
Yeah. Well, I've been scrolling forever. Let's see. Oh, that goes way back. Okay, so he was in an episode of Taxi. Oh, he was in The Howling. He was Eddie in The Howling.
Okay.
I did not enjoy The Howling.
No, it was the lesser of the werewolf movies.
Yeah.
The sequels didn't get better.
No.
They did not.
What's the opposite of better? That's what they did.
Much worse.
He was in Inner Space.
Yes, he's the cowboy in Inner Space.
Yep.
Yeah.
976 Evil. He was in The Burbs. He was the garbage man in The Burbs.
Oh.
He was the voice of Johnny Cab in Total Recall.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
All
Yep.
right.
Oh.
So
okay.
like, and that's just getting to like what 1990. Yeah, and then after that, he's been in a ton of other shit.
Inner Space is a great movie. I just
Yeah,
want
it
to
is.
say that.
But yeah, instead of intruding onto the next segment of the show, I'll continue with the trivia.
Yeah.
Let's see. Carbapol is a powdery substance used in hair gels, and when mixed with water, was used as the thing slime.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Which is a little fun fact I always like to find. It's like, what is this crap made out of?
Yeah, like the blob was made out of milkshake gunk.
Yep, sure is.
Like the blood in Psycho was chocolate
syrup. Yeah.
Yep. Also in the original Night of the Living Dead, it was Bosco chocolate syrup.
Yeah.
Specifically
Bosco. Yep. I learned
you got to do the Bosco.
I learned
it doesn't work well with the other stuff.
I learned that from
no
Rip Tracks.
for us. No. It's got to be Bosco.
Bosco. Hershey could suck a dick.
Yeah. Again, we're not talking about flavor, just imitation blood on black and white film.
Yeah. Let's see here. This was the third movie written by Bill Lancaster, who is the son of Burt Lancaster, by the way.
All right.
Oh, they are actually related.
Yep. And the other two movies were Bad News Bears and its sequel.
I've never seen this. I never saw the direct sequel. I saw like Bad News Bears Breaking Training.
I think I think there was like 5 Bad News Bears movies.
Yeah. The first one is great though.
Oh, it's amazing.
Really great movie.
Never seen a one.
What?
Yeah, I just saw the first one.
Never seen a Bad News Bears.
Within the past year, maybe I saw it for the first time.
Yeah,
and it's really good.
There was a golden era in the 70s where like if you had a movie with kids swearing and acting rowdy, you had a hit.
Yeah. Especially if the kids had bikes.
Yeah. Yep. Bikes.
Kids on bikes fighting monsters or playing baseball was like...
Yeah, 100%. So the pilot that they used for shooting in Alaska offered to crash his helicopter for money. Which, from any story,
I'm guessing he didn't own the helicopter.
I don't know. It depends on how much money he was offering.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think helicopters come cheap. I think it was someone else's helicopter. It was like, I'll ruin this shit.
Yeah,
Give me
I will fuck this all
I'll
up.
crash this fucker if you want me to.
And from every story I've ever heard of anyone who flies a helicopter, that sounds accurate.
Because it's got to be like in the back of their head, like I want to go through it once, just to see what it's like. Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, anybody that flies a helicopter is a fucking psychopath.
I don't think I'd want to do it.
No,
that's just.
Was it Harrison Ford?
He's a plane guy. He crashes planes.
I thought it was helicopters.
No. Bill Burr flies helicopters.
Yeah. Okay. And that's a dog going psychotic.
Yes.
Studio executive Ned Tannen. Did I pronounce that right?
It's Tannen.
It's
but
Tannen.
Whatever. I'll let this one slide.
Yeah, snide. It's snide, all right.
It's a Freudian slip.
Gave permission to use the ambiguous ending, but only if the audience was given an extra sign that the monster was killed in the explosion. And so an additional monster scream was added over the wide shot of the camp exploding. So, it's still a very ambiguous ending, but they're supposed to be giving you that little bit of finality to it, that like that monster was killed.
All right.
And to tie into that, I have another fact which gives us even more finality. In the video game tie-in, also called The Thing, which came out in 2002.
Which was a good game, I remember that.
I never played it. It is revealed that MacReady survives and is picked up by a search and rescue team while Childs freezes to death. And John Carpenter has stated that the game is canon.
All right.
Oh, so he disregards the comics that came out.
Yeah.
Because there's I think it's 3 or 5 comics that came out after The Thing.
Some of them are good, some of them are very dumb.
Most of them are bad.
Really?
But they continue the story, and it's just continuing like MacReady and Childs running into each other as they try to escape the Thing.
Oh, so they're like way out, still trying to get out through the comics.
Yeah, that's like it goes from like a fishing vessel to like a South American port town, and it's just like as soon as the Thing takes over a fish, you're just like, as a person who likes the movie, you're just like, okay, it won.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't.
If it gets into the ocean, you're never going to catch it. Like
no.
Exactly. You got like it owns 60% of the globe, and you can't stop it.
Yeah.
We are done as a species.
Yeah.
The dog/thing was created by Stan Winston, the legendary Stan Winston, who declined screen credit as he didn't want to take away from Rob Bottin's work. So Mr. Winston receives a special thank you in the closing credits. So,
that's sweet.
I guess the backstory behind that is Rob Bottin didn't want to make another dog because he had worked on The Howling and like some other thing that involved a dog. He was just done with dogs. Yeah.
So he reached out. Fucking dog, Jesus! Am I the dog guy now?
Yeah. So he's like, hey, Stan Winston, could you do this for me?
Hey, Stan, dog.
I don't think
just the dog. Just as a treat.
Yeah, I don't think anybody talks to Stan Winston like that.
No.
Let's see. And our final IMDb fact: Clark is the only U.S. Outpost 31 crew member to be killed by a human.
That's the dude that MacReady shoots, right?
Yep.
Yeah, tries to stab him with a scalpel and just does not do well.
No.
Don't bring a scalpel to a gunfight.
You wanted to talk about the dog in the IMDb thing. The dog.
No. Specifically, when we talk about actors being in other things.
Okay.
Because this dog was an actor.
And
should be.
He's a thespian.
Yes. We can. We'll transfer right over into that. We'll kick off with the dog. We'll move on to the better known as segment. So take it away.
Yeah. First of all, the dog's name was Jed.
All right.
And that was the actor's real name was Jed.
This is specifically the dog that the Norwegians are shooting at.
This was the dog, the main actor dog we see.
The hero dog.
Yeah, the dog they bring in.
Yeah.
The dog they bring in.
The first dog, because there are other dogs there.
And so this dog had to be trained to, like, move a little funny, to, like, little jittery at times. Also had some other stuff that the dog just had to be trained to do specifically for this film, and the interesting part about that is this was his first movie.
Oh, really?
It was the first one he did, yeah.
Starting off big.
And then he went off to work, and then he he went on to work for Disney. He was in a couple movies where he got to star as... The movie was about a dog, so they were Disney movies. And what I really love is that the person who initially adopted him before he became an actor from the Humane Society was Henry Winkler's cousin. Second cousin. So I've decided that Jed was, ergo, a part of Fonzie's family.
Yep, I'm with you, 100%.
Canonically cool as ice, part of the Fonz's group.
Hey!
Exactly.
Hey, Jed!
That dog lived to be 18 years old.
Holy shit, that's ancient for a big dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was a wolf dog.
He was Wolf Malamute, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. 18 years, he lived a nice, happy life, and that makes me happy. And I've said my spiel, thank you. You can go on to the humans now.
On to the humans.
On to the lesser important humans, yes.
We started too high. Now we talk about humans.
Yeah.
He deserves credit. He even has a page. He has an Internet Movie Database page. Jed the dog.
We'll start off with our main lead, MacReady, played by a little-known actor by the name of Kurt Russell, who's been in, like, everything.
Yeah. If it's a movie worth watching, he's either been in it or was supposed to be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was... here's one. Never mind. I was like trying to go through and think of
what,
like,
Captain Ron?
No.
Oh, okay.
Of like not great Kurt Russell movies. Unlawful Entry is the one we have on screen right now. Like,
oh yeah,
that was one where like it was like a like a crazy like homicidal cop like takes interest in a family.
Is that the one where he was like he helped install their security system or something?
I don't think he was the bad guy. I want to say he was like the husband. And like he's the one being maybe I'm thinking of a completely different movie. Yeah, he is the husband. Yeah.
This is the movie I'm thinking about.
Ray Liotta's the cop. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
he helps them install their security system, and he knows their password, and then he breaks in. Yeah. And the password was Pyramid.
I'll buy Ray Liotta as a creepy cop. Sure. Yeah.
He
100%.
He doesn't play creepy anything, right? Like he's totally not creepy.
He plays a hell of a wizard in that's that one movie.
In the Name of the King.
The Dungeons.
Oh my god.
But
I was just gonna. Kurt Russell is also in Bone Tomahawk, which is another.
I love that movie.
Highly suggest.
Yeah, I
Bone
need
Tomahawk.
to see that movie. I haven't seen it yet. Like I just keep hearing awesome things about it.
Well,
do it.
There's some gnarly shit in that movie.
Yeah, I know it's pretty brutal.
It's winsable. Great special effects.
They are really good.
But yeah,
just really good.
So what else has this gentleman?
Well, I was gonna say he started off
in Kurt Russell.
Started off in 1962 in the Dennis the Menace TV series. He's got an uncredited role as Kevin, who I'm assuming is one of Dennis's friends. We don't get much info there, but he had like a whole like Disney career.
Oh yeah,
he was on The Man from U.N.C.L.E. He's on Gilligan's Island.
He was a Disney player for a long time.
Yeah, he was on Lost in Space, The Virginian. The Fugitive, like, holy Lord, I didn't even know about half of these. And like, we haven't even gotten to the 80s. We just got to the 70s.
Yeah.
And the 80s is really when like Kurt Russell was like the name and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
let's see, Gunsmoke.
You're about to hit 77, which is where he was supposed to be in Star Wars.
Oh, really? Who was he supposed to be? Han Solo?
He was supposed to be Han Solo.
Oh, man.
Well, okay, maybe not like supposed to be, but like he did a lot of the script reading with the other actors who were auditioning, and he did all the
I think I would have liked that.
So it looks like he did
that.
about 10 years for Disney, 67 to 76.
Yeah.
And then Hawaii Five-0, another like he was Elvis in the Elvis TV movie in 1979.
That is not the only
Used Cars. That's another good movie.
Hold on, whoa, that is not the first time or the only time he has played Elvis.
3,000 Miles to Graceland.
He was also
impersonator.
He also did the voice of Elvis in Forrest Gump.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Huh.
Let's see. He's in The Fox and the Hound. He's a voice in that.
Escape from New York is so good. I love that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another that's another one, like another John Carpenter one.
Yeah,
also,
yep. That's John Carpenter.
Big Trouble in Little China is another one.
Which I forced you to see.
Yeah, I didn't see it till you. I'd seen like bits from like catching it on cable, but I'd never seen it start to finish.
That was one I watched a lot as a kid. That was always on HBO.
Yeah. I could watch Big Trouble in Little China pretty much anytime.
Jack Burton Pork Chop Express.
Joy. Yep. You know what Jack Burton always says?
Joy is a movie. I love it. I love it so
much. It's so good.
Overboard, Tequila Sunrise, Tango and Cash. This is like when he's just like at the height of his powers. Backdraft.
No, see that one right there at 1993. That's the height of his powers.
I was getting to it. I'm not going to go over that. Don't worry. In 1993, he's in possibly one of the best movies ever made. Like, definitely, I think one of the best westerns ever made. He's Wyatt Earp in Tombstone. Yeah, I had a Tombstone poster on my wall, like, as a kid.
Understandable.
Yeah.
It's so good. My
Tombstone was like a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah. You tell him hell's coming, and I'm coming, and hell's coming with me.
Yep. See, my text notification right now is, I'm your Huckleberry.
We have Escape from L.A.,
Stargate.
Slightly
you
less
skipped
good
over
than Escape from
Stargate.
New York.
Oh, I skipped over Stargate. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did.
Hey, I have a weird love for Escape from LA, but I realize it's just because Bruce Campbell is unrecognizable in it, and I find that very funny.
All they did was just make his job bigger. That's all.
Escape from LA is entertaining, but as a movie doesn't hold up as well. But I'm entertained by Escape from LA.
1998, he did the movie Soldier, which is set in the same universe as Blade Runner. Did not know if anybody knew that.
Is it? No, it's not Blade Runner.
It's Blade Runner. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. We can look that up, but I'm positive on that.
I knew it was. I knew it was a shared universe with something. I thought it was something else.
Yeah, no, it's Blade Runner.
No shit.
3,000 Miles to Graceland. We mentioned.
Yep, Miracle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Miracle is so good. If you love
the
hockey,
ice hockey movie. Yeah. This is like when he kind of goes away for a little while. He's not in a lot of stuff. A lot of like high, Sky High, which is a movie that has a lot of regard. I still haven't seen that, but I know people love that movie.
Which Bruce Campbell is also in.
Who's in that movie? Oh, Bruce Campbell. Yeah.
Is also in Sky High.
Poseidon, the Poseidon Adventure remake. I remember that. Grindhouse, which I loved. Him and Stuntman Mike.
Yeah.
In that movie. That's right. He plays Stuntman Mike in Death Proof also.
Well, no. Well, Death Proof was half of Grindhouse.
No, he shows up for like a second in that movie. It's
in the other half.
Yeah. It's the same character. It's been a while since I've seen it, but no, he shows up for like a second.
In what?
In Planet Terror.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, they're both. He shows up in both parts of Grindhouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cameos in Planet Terror.
Yeah.
That's believable. Yeah.
I only saw it once when it came out in theater.
Really? I've seen it a couple times.
I appreciated there was an intermission.
I think I saw it on DVD after that, but I'm like most of my memory is tied to.
Yeah, actually, I want to say I've only seen it like complete in the theater. Every time I've seen it,
just watch one or the other.
Yeah, the movies are separated out.
Yeah.
The Fate of the Furious. That's a big franchise.
Yeah, well, he was in Furious 7.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is another one of my like, not just favorite, I think, superhero movies, but like one of my favorite movies, like hands down. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I can watch it anytime. He's great as Peter Quill's father in that movie.
He is heartbreaking.
He did really great as Ego.
I knew who Ego was, and still, I was like, why did you break my heart?
Yes, that scene that like, and when I had to give your mother that cancer, like, huh, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Kurt Russell, please.
Who says that?
Yeah. He's very briefly in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I love that movie also. I know a lot of people like didn't dig it, but
Act 3 is a little rough, but
I love the whole thing.
It's also one that's on my list, but I haven't actually seen it yet.
Oh God, Leonardo DiCaprio at the end of that movie, like in his robe, getting pissed off because there's hippies. Like, goddamn hippies! Like,
get out of my driveway.
Yeah, that is what I want to be in life. Standing there with a pitcher full of booze.
Yeah. It's definitely a fun movie.
Yeah. I have not seen those Christmas Chronicles movies on Netflix.
I saw the first one because I have children. Not the worst thing I've ever seen.
Huh.
All right. I don't want to watch them again, but
on a scale to 1 to the Santa Claus, how many Santas are murdered in that movie?
I don't think there's a body count. Well, put it this way.
Oh, okay.
Put it this way. In terms of this show, I'd rather watch The Stuff again.
Oh wow!
Oh, I listened to your episode about The Stuff, so I know where that
I won't watch the Ghoulies over it, but I will watch The Stuff over it.
The man's got his limits.
That's fair.
All right, I'll take what I can for my boy The Stuff.
I
just
wins. Discovered this fact, and it is kind of mind-blowing. Kurt Russell has been in movies longer than our next subject, Wilford Brimley.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Wilford Brimley. Kurt Russell, like I said, his first credit was 1962. Wilford Brimley, first credit, 1969 in True Grit.
Well, that probably has more to do with the fact that Kurt Russell was a child actor.
Passed away.
So I know Wilford Brimley from 3 things.
Hold on, wait. Hold on, let me guess. Having diabetes?
Right. Diabetes.
Yes.
Oatmeal commercials?
Actually, no.
He was the Quaker Oats guy.
I don't know his
Quaker Oats. Yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna say Walker Texas Ranger is my second one.
Oh yeah.
Who was he in Walker Texas Ranger? He wasn't.
It's almost like we have a list of all the roles he's been in.
Because he was.
Yeah.
He wasn't CD, was he? I think that was a different old guy.
I don't remember.
And wasn't he? Am I misremembering? But wasn't he also in Cocoon? Wasn't he the guy who's like, "We'll never get old and we
never
will never
die"? Burt Mueller is his name.
Blue Steel.
Never get old.
Those are
never die.
Except for The Thing. That's all I know.
Oh my God!
Brimley for, but I'm sure he's had a very storied.
Yeah, he's been in a ton of shit. Have you ever seen Hard Target? That Jean-Claude Van
Damme.
He plays this like backwoods ass like Louisiana redneck, and it's amazing.
He was on Kung Fu. I'm assuming not performing Kung Fu.
No,
although I kind of would like to see that.
I would.
He's a little round.
If he was the star of Kung Fu, just go full Seagal with it and just have this old, out of shape man pretending he knows Kung Fu.
He probably runs better than Seagal does.
Yeah.
100% he's in better shape than Seagal.
Oh my God.
Oh Jesus.
Is he still alive?
Who, Seagal?
Seagal's still
His
alive.
career isn't.
Yeah.
Brimley.
He died.
I believe Wilford Brimley died a few years ago.
2020, I think. Yeah, 2020, August 1st.
Yeah, so I don't think.
Are you going to try and shame me for making Wilford Brimley now?
No, but I was questioning how he would run better. That's all.
He's still going to run better than
right
Seagal.
now, he probably could, yeah.
Wonder if it was the diabetes what took him out.
Oh my God, Liberty Medical commercials.
It's on there?
Credited, yeah. Right
Liberty
there.
Medical commercials. Diabetes announcer.
You know what?
He should get credit for these things. Except
oh my God.
I mean, technically it should be diabetes announcer, but I'll take it, whatever.
Yeah, with 2 E's.
I was gonna say the reason I remember him, he was on some show. It was on like NBC in like the early 90s or late 80s called Our House.
Was it in the middle of our street?
No, it was basically like your Seventh Heaven type of show at the time.
Gross.
Shannon Doherty was on it.
Oh, super gross.
Yeah. But the postmaster.
Which, speaking of crossovers, Keith David also was on Seventh Heaven.
Was he really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Keith David has played a lot of military men and pastors when you get to his IMDb.
That's fair.
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah. I'm trying to think. He's the postmaster on Seinfeld in one episode.
I mean,
else?
I think we've covered everything he's really known for.
Yeah, we did the diabetes.
And it pretty much starts with Cocoon.
All right, Keith David is up next. Yeah. I'm going to get right to the meat of Keith David's IMDb.
Right, so Keith David's meat.
Goliath from Gargoyles.
Well, I mean, we'll get to that, but there's something that Nick and I are particularly interested in.
Is it?
Yeah, it
Hold
is.
on, wait. Is it before or after They Live?
It's after.
Okay.
Because it's not. Here we go. In 1997, he was on a Murder, She Wrote TV movie. Murder, She Wrote South by Southwest.
Yes! So I don't know. You guys have said you've listened to a little bit of the show. Have you noticed our love affair with Murder, She Wrote? Because I
accept it, and I love it, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, Murder, She Wrote was one of those... It was one of those shows that the actors who weren't names in the 80s and 90s, you were on Star Trek, you were on Murder, She Wrote, or you were on the Outer
If you were
Limits.
British, you were assigned a role on Doctor Who.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
British actors are like 6 guys, so they're all on the BBC.
This is going to be episode.
We played the Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We played the Murder, She Wrote board game where everybody's Jessica.
I didn't.
Yeah, like in the Murder, She Wrote board game, everyone's Jessica, but one of you is a fake Jessica who's murdering.
That's amazing.
So
I think this is episode 26 or 27.
Yeah.
And I think out of all those, there's been 3 episodes where we did not have one person who was on Murder, She Wrote.
One
doesn't count because it's a lost episode. I'm not counting that.
Oh, well. Got filmed.
Yeah.
You gotta be on Murder, She Wrote. And if you're on Murder, She Wrote twice, you're never there as the same character.
It's a kind of a generational thing. So like if you were a big name in the like 90s or the like 60s, you eventually wound up on Murder, She Wrote. Anybody that started acting in
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm going to bring this up in a moment, though.
Sure. Anybody that started acting around the time where Murder, She Wrote was on, like, we'll never find them in an episode. So, like, our sweet spot for finding these, like, Murder, She Wrote characters is any movie from, like, the 70s to the late 90s.
Even, like, in the 2000s, you'll get some people, like, I would say, like, the cutoff should be, like, 2010, I'm going to say.
Yeah?
It might even be a little bit late, because I think that went off the air in, like...
93.
Did it? Okay, so let's say 2000...
Because I think it was 87 and 93.
Let's say 2005, then.
Yeah.
Because we've obviously got TV movies.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is... while we were sitting here talking about this... the Murder, She Wrote thing is fascinating enough on its own. We're looking at Keith David's IMDb. From 1983 to 1985, he played Keith the Handyman on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah, I was going to mention that if there was a spot, because, like, it was not too long after the thing, he had multiple spots.
No, it was the next year he started doing that.
Yeah. I did, like, that would have been right in the sweet spot of when I would have been watching Mr. Rogers, and I don't remember Keith David.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known.
Well, that's like finding out Lawrence Fishburne was on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
That I knew. He was Cowboy Curtis,
Yeah.
And Blackula was the king of cartoons.
Yep.
Yeah. He's in the movie Platoon, which is another just great, fantastic movie.
Also Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
I think he actually lied. Didn't he lie about his age to get into that movie?
I think he told him he was like 18, he's like 15 or something like that. No, that's Apocalypse Now.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because this was what in the 80s. Yeah.
Platoon's 86. They Live, we mentioned. Roadhouse, another 80s classic.
Let me just tell you, They Live. Chef kiss. Love it.
1990, the movie Men at Work. Has anybody seen this movie?
I have.
That movie is a comedy classic.
It's so good.
It's one of those movies that I only saw on TNT and TBS during their movie Sundays.
Yeah.
I want to say, no, I didn't see it in the theater, but I
saw it on Comedy Central.
Yeah, I remember renting that when it first came out, like being like, holy crap, this is hysterical.
I only saw the cable, like, censored version, so I feel like I missed a couple of...
Yeah. Keith David plays, like, this... He's, like, an evaluator for the trash company that Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen work for.
Yeah, he was a hard-nosed vet.
He's, like, this crazy Vietnam vet. Yeah, like, the whole time he's just, like, sketching on a drawing pad. It's like a helicopter, like, blowing up a boardwalk with people on it and stuff. Like, oh, God, I love that.
Who throws out a perfectly good white boy?
Yeah.
The commie bastard gets no food. They've got the corpse with the Richard Nixon.
Holy shit.
God, mask.
I'm watching that movie again real soon.
Marked for Death, a Steven Seagal classic.
Ugh.
That was 1990 also. Young Indiana Jones. I never got into that show. Like,
that's because it wasn't good.
It's I mean, like, you'd think like Indiana Jones, like, yay. Nope.
Mm-mm.
Like
was that around the same era as Young Hercules?
I was just gonna say, I loved Hercules. I loved Xena.
Young.
But yeah, Young Hercules was not great, even though it had what the fuck is his
Ryan
name?
Gosling.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Baby Ryan Gosling as Hercules.
Ryan Gosling was Young Hercules, and then that show just got canceled immediately.
Good.
He's in the Puppet Masters, which that's very similar to The Thing. That's a remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. The Quick and the Dead, which is a goddamn fantastic movie.
It's
Also,
so good.
Yes.
That is Sam Raimi directed Western.
Yep, Gargoyles.
Gargoyles. That's right. I went right past that.
Yes.
He's the voice of Goliath, the main character in that.
Yes.
He's also done voices on Rick and Morty and Adventure Time, and Spawn is another one.
Well, I think he was the voice of Spawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
on the highly regarded HBO cartoon, I believe.
Yeah, let's define highly regarded.
the HBO cartoon.
Well, at
we
the
remember.
time in animation. So I'm not saying it holds up, but at the time, that animation won awards. When at the time, animation was reserved for like 8 years.
Yeah, that's true.
That's fair.
So,
well, that was
like,
the
we
big
didn't
deal.
have the adult animation we have today when that came out.
Well, that was. The
I
big
remember
deal
that
with
was
the
like
Batman
event
animated
TV when it
series,
for me,
too.
like when that was on, like it was like Friday nights, like 11:00. Like
Yeah.
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 No, the big deal with the Batman animated series too is that it wasn't just for children. It was like clearly there were adult concepts here.
Oh, the Batman animated series is
artwork.
just like timeless. It's just
and done on black.
They just announced that's coming
is
back
really
as an
neat.
audio drama, which I'm pretty psyched about.
I love that.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy's doing the voice.
Down.
Like,
Is he really?
yeah,
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Danny Elfman's doing the music. Like, they're going all out for it.
Ooh, that's
Oh.
So it's the
Yeah.
real deal.
Let's see.
yeah.
Good.
More Gargoyles, Hercules, Princess Mononoke. I didn't realize he was a voice in that. Although I've never seen that, so I wouldn't know that.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. Let's see. Armageddon. I don't remember him. And he was the role I do remember him. This might be the one everybody remembers him most from. Is something about Mary. Mary's dad. That's another great one.
How'd you get the beans above the Frank?
When she's coming down the stairs. Oh shit! Look at that. Like, oh, God, I love Keith David. Spawn we mentioned.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was in Pitch Black and
yeah.
and the Chronicles of Riddick, and I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
was in Riddick a little bit.
I do not remember him on
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt.
That's another one that comes up on the show
Well,
all the time.
Oh, you know why?
It's another one of the Star Trek
Which
things where
one?
everyone did a thing on Tales
Yeah.
from the Crypt.
This
Which
is
one?
the Tales from the Crypt cartoon, I believe. That's why. Let me just double check that.
Oh.
No,
No, it's that was still on in 2000. Yeah.
I think that was the last season.
Wow.
Also a Danny Elfman soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Which-
that opening
Bum
song.
bum 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 bum.
Da-na-na.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Da-na-na.
if nothing else clues you into that, it's Danny Elfman. It's dun 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 dun.
Da-na-na.
Yeah.
Da-na. Yeah.
Gotta get those triplets in.
Well, same thing with like Simpsons theme. You
It's-
want that
everything
too.
is staccato. Which reminds me, I have, quote unquote, acquired all seasons of Tales from the Crypt, and I will put it on that
Oh.
that hard drive.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to watch me some of that.
Mm.
I just don't want to sell them short on anything here. Going through. It's a lot of.
You do like a little holiday special because there's a lot of like Christmas themed Tales from the Crypt. You could shoot out 2 in an episode.
That's not a bad idea.
That's
Well,
true.
We have although say we have a Christmas
That
thing, but
one's
like we
free.
are past the date of when we probably should have recorded the Christmas thing.
Nah,
That's true.
nah, we're gonna do it.
Maybe
I-
next year's Christmas Day
I understand that play. We just did a speed draw.
for
That-
Christmas.
I need to edit. And then,
I needed to get it done yesterday,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, because then it'll be like this weekend. Like as in Saturday.
I've got an animation due first week in January, and I don't have all my voice lines.
Ugh.
Good times. Good times. We are professionals.
I know that feeling.
He's the voice of the Arbiter in Halo, in the Halo series.
Also, Mass Effect. The captain who gives you a ship.
David Anderson.
Yeah.
I've played very little of both of those games.
List. He's got the list right now.
I like how you only acknowledge 2 of them. Good
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of video game work. Mass Effect 2, Call of Duty.
Oh, he was the cat in Coraline.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh. I love Coraline.
Coraline's great. You're not going to sew buttons into my eyes?
I want to get off of it. Oh, God. The Cape. In 2011, it is notoriously horrible.
Really?
It's the superhero series that NBC did. And like Community did a running joke on the Cape for the last couple of seasons. It was so fucking bad. His character, Max Malini, I want to say he was like the head of like a circus.
Oh, and, Jesus Christ.
It might have been like a circus of crime even or something like that. It was so horrible.
Who was the star of that show?
I want to say it was like a nobody. Hold on.
I don't know that show, but you saying Circus of Crime just triggered something in my brain that just...
There's just a picture of him like in this big like purple blouse with like a vest on. Who was David Lyons was the main guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Nah, fuck all that.
It was...
Summer Glau was in it. It must have been great.
Hilariously bad. Like, I kind of want to watch it again. Anyway, that's
Keith David.
That's Keith David, yeah. Like, we're still, like, 12 years behind, but, like, you know who Keith David is, seriously.
Yeah. If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah. He played Clark. He's another dude who's in, like, a lot of movies. Let me see. I think I saved him specifically for...
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I don't want to go past it.
L.A. Law? Was it L.A. Law?
It was definitely L.A. Law, yeah.
Was it Blood In, Blood Out? It. He was in It.
Yes, he's one of the older people in It. He's older Stanley, that's right. In the 90s version of it.
Yeah.
Matlock.
Okay, no, he wasn't one of the... We have a very Murder, She Wrote heavy cast this week.
Oh, do we really?
Yeah, we do.
Do we beat the hat trick that we had last week?
We, at the very least, tie the hat trick. We might have 4 people, yeah.
That would be the most ever.
Okay, I would be surprised if Wilford Brimley was never...
He was not.
I thought he would be, but no, he was not.
That is surprising to me. I would have just paired that.
Oh, my man was in MASH.
Yeah, he was in MASH, All in the Family, Mary Tyler Moore.
Okay, so are you guys with me that MASH is the greatest TV show to have ever been on television?
Yes.
MASH is super underappreciated. Just as
so
for being commentary of the time and also withstanding to this day, MASH is great.
And it had the humor, but the darkness, and it was serious, and it was true to like what was going on, but also like all these great characters. And the guy who played Radar played Charlie Brown in the musical, which I know no one cares about, but I'm telling you, there was a Broadway musical. There was
you have
Snoopy.
A mini IMDb in your head, and you just have to tell people like he was also Charlie Brown.
Care.
Well, and Radar was also the only actor to be in both the movie and the show.
Yeah, he played Radar in both.
So. So he was like the only carryover.
Going back to Richard Mazer.
Yes.
1986, he was in a movie that fucking scarred me when I was a kid. And it's a Disney movie. Oh. Yeah. Mr. Boogedy.
Go on.
He's the dad.
Oh, okay,
he's the dad in Mr. Boogedy.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to fall into a YouTube hole after we're done with this.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to show you some clips.
What was the Disney movie that you always bring up that you think is a fever dream? It's Can of Worms?
Can of Worms.
It's another thing that was released by Disney that's just
find, by the way.
I've never even heard of it.
It does not seem like a Disney from the outside, but apparently it's like in that sweet spot of when media came out specifically to scar children.
Yeah. Yep.
Whoa!
That was one of them.
He calls aliens, and that's the can of worms. Is he opens his can of worms, and all these aliens start coming over, and it's just. I loved this movie, and now I can't find it, and no one else has ever heard of it, and I had a VHS that I taped off the television, so it was missing like the first couple minutes.
Say you're old without saying you're old.
I loved this movie, and it doesn't exist.
Setting your
apparently.
VCR to SP so you can tape movies off of TNT and fit like 3 of them on there.
I can only assume that it's from the same like universe that Berenstein Bears was in. Like
excuse me,
and it was just left over there when he switched over. To the Berenstein.
Yep. But Mr. Boogedy, sorry, was like a low rent Freddy Krueger for kids.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, that does ring a bell now.
Yeah, it was another one I wanted you to watch because it was like, it was dark. It was very weirdly dark, and the makeup. I remember the makeup being very legitimate.
Yeah, I mean, like,
was Mr. Boogedy also a child molester, or was that just a funny thing?
They left that part out.
They give you the boogedy, yeah.
Yeah. I tried watching it with my wife again recently, and it does not hold up at all. It's really bad.
Vietnam, Texas.
If you could see my face, you could see how shocked I am that the thing called Mr. Boogedy did not survive the test of time.
What year was Little Monsters?
That's got to be like, I want to say like 90, 92.
No, that was in the 80s, my man.
Little Monsters?
Little Monsters had to have been.
I want to say
like 87.
I'm going to say 80.
We have IMDb in
mind.
So
hold on.
I think it has to have been after Beetlejuice, because he is doing a very blatant Beetlejuice impression as that blue monster.
Yeah. I want to say 89.
89, yeah.
Yep.
Right there.
89.
It was 89.
You got it.
Yeah, but you also wanted to say the 90s, so...
But I was off by a year. I said 90,
That was
like
close.
92.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Howie Mandel, every now and then, it's like, you're just trying to be Michael Keaton, and it's not happening.
No.
Culture didn't move so fast back then. People had Terminator 2 toys for like 5 years.
That's
so.
true.
It's true.
I would want to have Terminator 2 toys right now.
Well, yeah. But nowadays, like, Tiger King hits, and then next month no one remembers
that's
it.
true.
So
And I'm surprised.
everything moves like super speed now.
I'm surprised the Little Monsters didn't get a cartoon.
That's
Because
true. It's right
everything
for a
else
cartoon
did.
tie-in.
Beetlejuice did, and that had nothing to do with it.
RoboCop did.
RoboCop did.
Why did RoboCop have a children's cartoon? That's a
Yeah,
Yeah, that was not a
Rambo had a children's cartoon.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
Toxic Adventure had a children's cartoon.
That was the Toxic Crusaders.
Yeah, Little Shop of Horrors had a children's cartoon where they were all kids.
Yeah.
And
I do
don't
not remember
understand why
that.
was
I
really-
vaguely remember that one.
It was bad. It was
There were,
bad.
like,
I gotta
5
tell you though,
episodes,
I did watch the Beetlejuice cartoon all the goddamn
Oh, yeah,
time.
that was on before school. I used to
loved
watch
it.
that every day.
I own the collection, the whole series, because there's something wrong
Nah.
with it. I
No.
also have a Beetlejuice sandworm tattoo.
Oh, nice.
'Cause I love
Well,
the
that's
movie so much.
you're a Tim Burton freak.
To a point.
Yeah.
To a point. Because, like, I love Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And then the Tim Burton ones happened, and I went,
Oh
oh,
no,
why?
those weren't very good.
Oh.
Hey, do you remember
was
that
so
Disney
sad.
television show?
Yes.
Do you wish
it
you
was, like,
didn't?
through the looking glass. It was a fever dream. The White Rabbit had roller skates.
Yes. And there were rappers.
Yeah, Tweedledee.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Rap was the hip new thing with the kids
Ugh.
back then. It was
And-
like 1987.
And, like, half my friends had a crush on the Mad Hatter. Very specifically the Mad Hatter.
Okay, moving on through the cast. TK Carter.
Yes.
He was Knowles. He was the dude. I mean, I remember this dude from just like pretty much every TV show in like the 80s and 90s. He's the guy who like kills it on one-offs, like one-off roles. His career started back in 76. One of his first notable roles was on Quincy, Good Times, The Waltons, The Jeffersons, The Thing in 82, Southern Comfort in 81, which is actually a pretty good movie. It's kind of like Deliverance, basically, like a killer redneck movie. Like it was more like actiony drama than Deliverance was. Let's see, Turbo Teen. Oh God, I remember that cartoon. It's a cartoon about a kid. He fucking like gets involved in like some kind of science experiment or something. Anytime he gets warm, he turns into a car.
What?
And if he gets cold, he turns back and...
Yes, no,
that was real.
That was a real thing, yeah.
I thought that was a Rick and Morty gag. That was a thing?
No, that was a thing. It was a thing.
Turbo Teen. That was used to be on USA when I was a kid. They used to show that.
God damn.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was real.
He was the voice of Rocksteady on Transformers. He was on Punky Brewster. He had a recurring role in that show.
24 episodes, yeah.
Yeah, 227, Good Morning Miss Bliss, which is the...
You're going to jump right over Gem?
Oh, he was voiced on Gem, yes.
13 episodes.
Good Morning Miss Bliss was the series that... You remember in Saved by the Bell when they had like a flashback episode when they were younger? That was that show, Good Morning Miss Bliss. They just recycled clips from that show.
Oh, that's atrocious.
Yeah, and packaged it as Saved by the Bell.
That's
Control, which is a comedy I remember from the 90s. Family Matters, Different World, The Sinbad Show. I didn't remember that at all.
I do.
He's one of the Monstars in Space Jam. And it looks like, just kind of kills on the one-offs throughout the 90s.
Yeah, that's a lot of TV. Holy Christ, that's a lot of TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Good job, TK.
Oh. Punched me right in the childhood.
Okay, let's see. David is that his name? Yeah, David
Clennon.
I know I specifically saved him. He was Palmer on the thing, but still in the 2000s. Got to go back.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Yep. You passed Star Trek.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's in Star Trek Voyager.
Yep.
How about that?
You're getting excited.
You got it.
Yeah.
Listen, it's the one thing I've got that keeps me happy. I restarted Deep Space Nine the other night.
Here we go. 1988. He played Walton Tibbles on Murder, She Wrote.
My motherfucker.
Yeah.
Hey, well, is that the Beauty and the Beast TV series with Ron Perlman?
I believe it is. Yeah, 1988. He was on that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is.
That was Guillermo del Toro, wasn't it?
I think he worked on that. Yeah.
That explains a lot.
He was also in the show Sledgehammer, which seems to come up on this show quite a bit.
Yeah.
It was like a Naked Gun TV series. That was like in the mid 80s.
That's another one that always comes up.
Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Yep.
Another one that always pops up on this show.
That and the what was it, the 90s Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Did I actually go over that?
I don't think so. I don't think he was on that. I didn't see it.
No, he was in Dream On. I remember watching that show on HBO when I shouldn't have been. This actually just caught my eye.
Whoa!
He was in the Star Wars original radio drama in 1981. I just recently listened to that. It's actually not bad.
Is it just a retelling of the movies?
No, they're like kind of like stories related to the movies, but there's like
side stories.
Yeah, I mean they're
there
may be like things that kind of happen in between scenes, or like they do happen in the universe, but you have like Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, like you don't have Harrison Ford, obviously.
Yeah.
But you have like the big voices like doing the show. I
don't think Harrison Ford has been so famous for a role that he just does not want to be a part of at all.
Yeah. But he was in some other big projects. Kojak. There's another one that just jumped out at me, but Barney Miller, which comes up on here from time to time.
Yeah.
Charles Hallahan, that's the guy with the heart condition. Who we suspect was the person who was infected.
Oh, he was in The Pest. Stop right there.
Career over. That's it. Just live off that.
That's all you need.
Also in Space Jam.
All you need.
Also in Gargoyles.
Yay!
Oh shit!
Yay!
He's in three episodes.
Actually, no, he's in that's of just the Goliath Chronicles and the proper Gargoyles. He's in 8 episodes.
8, yeah.
Yeah.
As Travis Marshall.
He was on the Coach TV series, and then again, 1994, he plays Barry Noble in Murder, She Wrote.
There it is.
It is truly like amazing how many people who in horror movies have been on Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, we eventually are gonna have Murder, She Wrote merch. Like it has to happen.
I was looking at trying to make a sticker. I think I can do it. I don't know if I'm that good of a designer, but
like
with a typewriter.
Yeah. It's almost as if we have a couple of artists on the show with us right now.
I was gonna say, like, I have ideas. I also enjoy.
Yeah, we need.
I have thoughts.
Specifically, we need a Monster She Wrote sticker. I'm thinking like Frankenstein, like head on Angela Lansbury's body, like
Sitting at the typewriter.
Yeah, sitting at the typewriter.
Okay, or a typewriter and just like severed zombie.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
And then the text that's showing that's been typed just says "Monster She Wrote." Maybe there's a blood splatter.
Yes.
Because otherwise, when I think monster typewriter, I immediately think of Naked Lunch.
Oh yeah. I just remember that one Simpsons
Like
gag where they're all like it's like Nelson, Bart, Milhouse, and I think Martin.
Oh, they
Like,
when they all went to
fake
see
ID,
they went to see Naked
I
Lunch.
can think of at least 2 things wrong with that title.
It could be something that just like goes in the description of the podcast, just like Murder She Wrote scored 3 because there's 3 tie-ins to Murder She Wrote.
Okay, so not only now are we about to break our all-time high Monster She Wrote record, excuse me. We also have another secondary tie-in that pops up a lot. Donald Moffat, who played just Gary, that's the guy who was the former, like the guy who like relinquishes command.
Yep.
Yeah.
This week, he is our 4th person to show up on Murder, She Wrote.
God damn.
He played Tim Carver.
Oh, we
Yeah,
both
1985. You're here for history, guys. Like, you should be honored. Yeah.
Yeah, we're here for it.
Mark it down. I challenge any other guest on this show to break our Murder She Wrote record.
Oh.
We're gonna hold this title.
We're gonna make a plaque.
Looks like he was in the Logan's Run TV series.
What
also.
the fuck? I didn't know they made a show out of that.
Yeah.
That was barely a decent movie. How did they make a TV show out of that?
Let's not get ahead of
He
ourselves.
apparently kept running for another 14 episodes, so...
Logan's brisk jog? Like,
what's left to say?
Sorry?
Gunsmoke.
I think sorry.
That comes up on here quite a bit. Bonanza, the original Mission Impossible, original Hawaii Five-0.
Mannix.
Mannix.
Yeah.
Did I see he was in a bunch of Tales from the Crypt?
Let's see. We're in the 70s right now.
Yeah.
His, like, the thing I, like, most remember him from, he's the president in, I think, Clear and Present Danger. But he's also in the 80s Twilight Zone, which seems to pop up here almost as much as Monster She Wrote.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
believe it.
LA Law. I'm not seeing Tales from the Crypt. Oh, no.
Oh,
yeah.
no, I'm sorry. Tales from the City.
Yeah. Damn it.
That is totally different show.
Yeah.
Listen, it was in the right year timeline. It was C-word.
I hope someone got confused.
Oh my god, that would have been great.
Let's see. Nothing really else there. We have 2 more to go. Joel Polis. He was Fuchs. I'm pretty sure he was not on Murder, She Wrote.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he isn't. He was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's one specific reason why I saved him.
Hey, he was on Castle. I like that show.
Oh, that's a show that pops up on here quite a bit, too.
Yeah.
Let me just double check that Murder, She Wrote thing. Because if we're breaking records, I'm not,
yeah.
You know.
Go big or go home.
Exactly, yeah.
Sev.
I'm double checking myself. I'm going through the whole thing being like, let me control F Murder She Wrote this.
Oh, he was on Seventh Heaven.
Yeah. Home
Hey,
Improvement.
Star Trek Voyager.
Diagnosis Murder, not Murder, She Wrote. Another old people murder show, but...
Northern Exposure.
Matlock, which is our acceptable substitute for Murder, She Wrote. Yeah.
Accepted. All right.
Alien Nation
TV series. The Hitchhiker, which also shows up on here a lot. Twilight Zone again.
Yeah, Scarecrow, Mrs. King.
Moonlighting.
He was on T.J. Hooker.
T.J. Hooker, St. Elsewhere.
No, we're already past where it would be if he was on Murder, She Wrote.
Wow, Fuchs was his 2nd role ever. Okay,
that's wild. Because he was old as shit.
I do have another Murder, She Wrote tie-in, but I don't know if you'll accept it on.
All right, let's hear it.
So, Adrienne Barbeau was the voice of the chess computer, and also was on Murder, She Wrote.
So 5 people. I said 5. I put up 4 fingers. We're up to 5 people. Yeah.
That's a banger. Holy shit.
The reason I saved Joel Polis, he's on an episode of Seinfeld in 1997. Might be one of the most popular, like, well-known lines in Seinfeld. It's the one where, like, George is, like, kind of butting heads with, like, his workplace rival at the Yankees, and, like, he says something. He's eating shrimp or something, like, at a meeting, and, like, he's like, "Hey, George, the ocean called, and they're running out of shrimp." And like, George comes back later in the episode with, "Well, yeah, the jerk store called, and they're all out of you." And, like, they go back and forth until George just says, "I had sex with your wife." And, like, everybody gets quiet and somebody goes, "His wife is dead." So he's the jerk store guy, yeah.
Jerk store.
Yeah. I'm going with jerk store. Larry Franco is the last one I have saved here. He has a extremely minor role in this movie, but he is, like, a part of a
Norwegian
passenger. Yeah, he is one of the guys in the helicopter, I'm assuming.
He got shot in the eye.
Yeah.
Like, he was the first on-screen
death.
Yeah.
He doesn't have much in the way of acting. He was in The Thing. He's in Apocalypse Now. He's in They Live, and that's it for acting credits. As far as assistant directing and producing, he has been a part of, Apocalypse Now. He's second assistant director. The Fog, Escape from New York, The Thing. He's the first assistant director on The Thing. Christine, Starman, Big Trouble in Little China, Prince of Darkness, They Live.
So he's apparently John Carpenter's, like, go-to.
Those are all John Carpenter.
As far as producing, he's the Jungle Cruise movie, which was just out. The crappy Independence Day sequel. White House Down.
Oh, right, that
2012.
There was an Independence Day sequel.
A bad one.
Yeah, you didn't imagine that. I just wish you did.
Oh.
My brain had just, like, erased that knowledge.
He is a producer on Batman Begins, The Hulk, Jurassic Park 3, Sleepy Hollow, Mars Attacks, Jumanji, Batman Returns, The Rocketeer, Tango and Cash. Now we're getting into the movies we mentioned before. They Live, Prince of Darkness, Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York. So he's, very, very minimal in this movie, but has his hand in a lot of great movies, which is pretty...
Friend of John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
And that will do it for the Better Known As segment.
All right, let's move on to the crapshoot.
We have much.
We have so much
crap.
I don't even know where to start.
Well, because we've experienced so much of the thing.
Well, before we'll get to let's tell us. We'll start off talking about you guys a little bit first. Tell us about Team Manticore. Tell us, where we can get some of our Team Manticore stuff.
Who are you and what do you do?
We are Team Manticore. We create the frightening, adorable, and unique. This encompasses plushies, comic books, art, numerous things.
You've got a film.
I actually have a movie I'm finishing right now. It's called Eve. It's a sci-fi suspense movie about a man who loses his wife, and when he's in the throes of grieving that, there's a scientist who approaches him who says he can clone her perfectly, and the plot goes from there. I am just finishing editing that. The DVD will be out sometime in 2022, and hopefully also a premiere.
Is there
is
there a monster in this movie?
I would argue everyone's a monster.
The people are the monsters.
The monster of grief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like,
it's like the Babadook, but without a Babadook. I'm selling it terribly.
The sad Badook.
Yeah. Things go hard.
All right, what else you got going on?
So, you can find all this on teammanticore.com. I've got a YouTube channel where I do Dungeons and Dragons animations. You can find that at Tuscan Tales.
We also have a YouTube that's Manticore Manor that's just DIY stuff and a lot of our dogs. And Art of Team Manticore, where we do the speed draws and behind the scenes stuff.
We'll send you a link tree to throw in your description, but we do, if it's at all artistic, we've at least tried it.
Nice.
So
I'm mostly known for my comics, but we also do plush stuff, and we give a lot of the funds to different charities. Like our bats go to Bat World Sanctuary to help actual bats.
Awesome.
And otherwise, the comics I'm currently known for would be Oh Hell Donna, which is complete, 3 graphic novel volumes, giant, massive part of my life. And she's a demon zombie girl who comes up to the land of living to just have a slice of pizza and winds up having to save the world instead. That one, my dad claims is rated X because there's nudity, but no, it's not that.
Hey,
there's just a lot of nudity.
There's nudity in rated R.
It's an R.
Hard R.
Yeah, it's rated R. It's fine. And I also have a family-friendly comic that's on a webtoon that's House Fright Dorable. And it's about a little black cat, and sometimes she has existential crises. And otherwise, it's a very cute little story.
Okay, awesome.
So that's what I do with my time.
We're very busy people. We'll send you a link tree. It has a link to everything because we do everything.
Yeah, we'll definitely get the word out there.
We do too many things.
So what brought you guys to the thing? You guys approached us about doing this. What makes this like a standout movie for you guys?
It's we always talk about it.
Is that
like on our
you just
draws,
always default?
We always get reminded.
We can't not reference the thing when we're talking about anything else. Like
constantly.
It's
like an obsession.
Like we've listened to the original radio play, probably like a remake of it, but there was a radio play based on a short story. And for this, we watched the 1950s movie, and I saw the 2011 remake in theaters, and I did not like it. And then I watched a documentary about special effects, the decline of special effects, and it specifically went into that. And so now I'm a lot more forgiving towards that movie. But The Thing was always just like the pinnacle of like horror and suspense movies for me. Like people would be like, "Oh, this," and I'd be like, "Yeah, it's not."
Have you seen The Thing?
There's the thing about The Thing is
it's the practical effects that really do it for me. And it's why the comic I'm currently working on, the graphic novel I'm currently working on, is called Entropy Head. And some of the monsters I made out of clay and photographed to Photoshop in to the comic so that they would be that kind of practical effect feel. So there's a lot of that in that.
They'd feel surreal in the world, but too real to the viewer.
That almost feels like something like Dave McKean would do.
I appreciate that. It's taking me a long time because I am drawing it as realistically as I possibly can, and some of the imagery is a little bit more disturbing than I normally go, and it's very, very dark. But there's also a love story because I have no sense of genre.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, if it works, it works.
A genre mash is always the best thing because, like, if you stick to just like classic horror or sci-fi or whatever, like it can get stale. So that's why, like, I've referenced it a few times in the show. But like, Warm Bodies is one of my favorite zombie movies because it's such a genre mash. Same as Shaun of the Dead. It's not just
that was our first date movie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Warm Bodies.
It's so good.
Warm Bodies was what we saw in our first date.
It's not just like your typical up and down zombie movie, and it's not your typical up and down romance movie. Like it's a good mix of the two.
Yeah, near and dear to our hearts.
Aww. Yeah. Plus, it's got a great soundtrack.
Business. Yeah, that's true. We got business married before we got regular married.
Excuse me?
Because we formed
an LLC because we started like. Rowyn was already doing stuff creatively, and I was doing and selling it, and I was doing stuff but not selling it. And so we formed an LLC because either way I was going to be filing our taxes, and this way I have to do it once.
I married my accountant.
Look, we're already doing this together. Let's just
fuck it.
Yeah, it'll make my job easier. Like
Yeah.
And really, like, if you can get through, like, that sort of stuff and, like, form an LLC and, like, run it successfully for a couple of years, marriage is easy.
Really, what's the difference?
Honestly. And, we each had an encyclopedia of serial killers, and we had to, like, decide if we wanted to keep both or just one. We also realized we had a lot in common in terms of the films we loved, and The Thing was one of them. And The Thing just sort of kept coming up over
So
and over
basically...
and over. And still,
The Thing is your thing. It just
The Thing is our thing.
Yeah.
And we even did a speed draw where he did a version of The Thing as a rom-com.
Oh.
What a poster for that might look like.
Think of based on 10 things I hate about you.
10 things I hate about you.
I was just saying, if I were an artist, I would cover up a lot of fuck ups by saying I'm drawing a version of the thing. This head is supposed to have legs coming out of it.
Don't worry about it. It's an abomination.
Yeah.
It's like building Chaos in Warhammer. Yeah, I meant to throw these character pieces up.
No, it's fine.
And then I did the Thing animated series because again, everything else got an animated series.
Just
so logically,
he's got his little friend, the head with the eye stalks.
Yeah. And I like doing I did the dog, but with like hands coming out instead of ears. And that's his other
with the split face and all.
Originally, we were going to do this in person, so we were going to bring you some of our horror art. So we'll have
oh my god, I would love it.
Thank you.
Because we've done a lot of.
We are.
We
are slowly but surely acquiring a lot of shit.
A nice collection
in this
of
room.
Cool shit. Yeah.
Like we are trying to grab like a toy or a statuette or just like something
a piece of memorabilia, like anything from every episode.
For every episode, and just this week I got a box of Good Guy cereal for our Chucky episode that we just did.
We just recorded the Child's Play episode, and I think I completely blocked it out of my memory.
Yeah,
that movie did not hold up, but that was another podcast.
Yeah, but no, it's.
Have you seen Brad Dourif's daughter dressed as him?
I have watched the Chucky series. My wife was like set on watching it, and that's a thing that's on TV.
Your wife made it.
I didn't even try.
But his daughter made a convincing.
Oh really?
Yeah, she does actually like sound like him a little bit and like kind of resemble him. Yeah.
That's disturbing.
It was very weird. I don't know how I'd feel if I could just pass as my dad. I don't think I'd like that.
No, it's weird.
Oh man. Excuse me.
But the thing about
the thing about the Thing
prequel is that they did do practical effects.
Well, this is the tragedy of the Thing prequel, because like the Thing was not recognized in its time, but then it was. So in 2011, they came out with a prequel, and if you saw it, it's not great. It's
I remember not hating it, but not being like blown away by it.
I had a lot of issues with it, but then we watched. There's this entire documentary about the fall of practical effects in Hollywood, where a big portion of that was talking about, because in the Thing prequel, they brought in a practical effects studio who did it all in practical effects,
and it was gorgeous.
Then when they passed it on to like the studio said,
they did like CGI over it, didn't they?
Yeah, they made it. They made it
so
worse.
bad
for no reason.
And the thing is, if you watch the documentary, like people who made the Thing prequel really, really cared. Like they knew how tall Kurt Russell was, and they took shots of him in the Norwegian camp and figured out, based on trajectory, like the triangulation off of that, how everything was set up and how tall everything was. And this was like some guy's job for a while, was just taking Kurt Russell's height and figuring out how to build the Norwegian camp to be accurate.
That's insane.
And then they CG'd over everything.
And then they just slapped bad computer graphics over all the practical CGI.
But the wet puppets survived. Because you can see them in a Harbinger Down.
Harbinger Down is a movie that's better than you think it is. That is by the special effects company that got basically booted off the Thing prequel. And it's more of a it's more in the vein of the Blob, because the monster is a collection of individual single-cell organisms. But if you like the Thing, I would suggest Harbinger Down.
And you can see the practical effects that got overdone in the 2011.
I'm not going to pretend Harbinger Down is a great movie. There's definitely actors in there who do not know how to act, but there's also good actors. There's also good actors in there.
That title is really familiar, so I don't know if I've scrolled past it on one of my streaming services or something.
Yeah, that is very familiar.
But it's a very familiar title.
You'll recognize 3 faces out of it. It's very much that guy.
But as a result, the practical effects are way better than the prequel. because it's it's what it's supposed to be.
I'm not going to pretend there's not bad CGI in Harbinger Down, but I'm glad they got to show their practical effects because they really showed off what they could do.
There's so much gushiness. Everything gets so gross.
It's so gushy.
Bring back wet puppets. Bring back wet puppets.
There's a lot of things spurting. Unnecessary.
Bring back wet puppets, I think, could be a slogan for this show.
Bring back wet puppets. I'm pretty sure I saw the wet puppets of Valentine's once.
Yeah, they opened up for Ministry, I think.
Yeah. But I mean, like, as far as the 2011 thing, I didn't hate the concept of it. I mean, it's the story of like the Norwegian team of like what happened there.
Yeah.
So you see like what comes out of that big ass block of ice, like what was in that block of ice initially. So like the concept is all right. Yeah, all right. I can get down with that, but execution, not so much.
Yeah.
They really worked hard to work backwards through like that like half-faced beast. They had to figure out like what happened in the Norwegian game where that happened and then got dragged outside and burned. And I don't think they did a terrible job with that. It's just
they showed too much.
Some of the I had issues with some of the logic of the creature itself. Yeah. Because in the thing, the creature turns into an actual monster when it's cornered or completely alone with one other person. And my thing with the prequel was whenever the creature was in a room with 2 or 3 people, it would just monster out for seemingly no reason.
Just freak out.
Because like, this is where we insert.
So it was a monster. It was a monster just for the sake of having a monster.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
There was a lot of like monster scene for the sake of monster scene. They didn't do that build to a monster scene.
Yeah, so they're not doing that thing like
no
with the tension, basically letting the tension, release and then build up again.
Yeah.
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 Right.
And also like the time frame, like in the 1980s thing, it happens over like 2 weeks.
Right.
And they fast forward through stuff, but like every so often they go, it's been 2 days or it's been 3 days into a voice recorder.
Right.
And in the 2011, it all happens in like 36 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very fast forward.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bummer. Because like you have this, they have an amazing template to work off of and kind of reverse engineer.
Yeah.
And they just botched it.
Fucking
They had talked about doing a direct sequel to the 1982 thing.
Because Kurt Russell's son looks exactly like Kurt Russell.
You ever see Wyatt Russell?
He's the new Captain America. Oh,
he named his son Wyatt.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Apparently, if you put Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell together, what you get is Kurt Russell again.
He's the dude from the movie Overlord, which is I think another awesome like
the Nazi movie.
Yeah, another awesome movie.
Jesus Christ.
I do like Overlord, so I
think I've seen it.
Did we watch it like on a movie night once?
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah.
I think
Black Mirror, I think, is gonna wind up your new Twilight Zone in terms of random actors.
Black Mirror?
I can see that. Yeah. There's been a lot of people on that show.
It's true.
Yeah.
Wyatt was in a Black Mirror episode, and that was the episode that made me go, oh, he could absolutely be in a Thing sequel as the same person as another McCready. And that way you don't have to do the de-aging nonsense. The CG de-aging.
Some of that is really good.
But honey, if you just wait for someone to die, you can use their image and not pay them. So that's why Disney does it.
Just use the boy. I say boy, he's my age. But
God damn.
He's very in his 30s. But,
Wyatt
Russell. That's my vote for the next McCready.
It could work. I just don't want it.
I think
if it's gonna happen anyway.
I think the Thing prequel was the best chance of having a good The Thing movie that wasn't the original The Thing movie, and it proved why it could not work again. It was lightning in a bottle. We shouldn't have any other The Thing movies. Just let it be.
Let it stand.
Its own thing.
Yeah.
Its own thing.
They had a team that obviously cared very much to bring that vision back to the screen, and it could not survive the modern studio process. It just couldn't.
The video game was actually a pretty good like adaptation of it, like a companion piece. Just because it wasn't like a like a run and gun shooter. Like you had to, it was all about figuring out like, okay, who actually is infected, like, and then like if you fuck up, like there's consequences for like guessing somebody who's not like infected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember enjoying that game a lot.
What if it's
a PS2 game?
I never played it, but I did hear good things. Like, it had this whole trust system where, like, you meet someone and, like, if you give them a knife because you trust them, then your trust thing with them goes up. But if you're wrong, then obviously shit goes wrong much faster.
I wonder if they did a PC release.
Possibly. It was also one of those ones where you don't get, like, unlimited ammo. Like, you have very limited ammo. Like, I think you use the flamethrower a lot, and, like, you're constantly searching for gasoline and stuff like to fuel it.
Yeah.
There was that in the original movie. Like, they're a research station. Obviously, like, there's a need to have, like, some guns around. But they had a lot of flamethrowers for a research station.
Military grade
about the guns. It was like, oh, wait, there's probably polar bears. And I'm like, wait a minute. They're in Antarctica. There's no fucking
Nothing
polar
lives
bears.
there.
Yeah. There's penguins. That's it.
Like, if I had to face down an ordinary penguin, I'd want a shotgun. So I'm not going to argue with that.
A golf club or a steel toe boot.
They had at least 2 military grade flamethrowers that are just like arm's reach away, less locked up than
the only
shotguns.
thing I could think that they needed those for was like melting ice.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like de-icing shit, but even that like might be a bit of like overkill.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just put it on a hot plate. It'll get there.
See, in the 50s one, they should have used flamethrowers and just melted the ice where the ship was.
Yeah,
blowing it to smithereens.
They
blow it to shit.
Which got a call out.
It did get a call out in the.
And then in the 1950s, they go to get the ship out of the ice with thermite and just end up blowing the shit out of the ship.
Right. So
it's like a joke for the rest of the movie that the military's so inept they couldn't remove a ship from ice without destroying it.
But it did get a call back in the 1982
joke.
one.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Yeah. It's a joke.
It's inaccurate.
It was a joke in the 1950s, and it's become less funny every decade since.
Gets closer to real every year.
Yeah.
All right.
But they do have the flamethrowers, and a couple people have, like, little handguns in 1982. Just in their own drawers, each, in case they need to kill themselves, I guess.
I remember the revolver that Gary had most of all, because that one had the most shots on it.
Well, Blair had a little gun.
That's what Blair did have a little gun, that's right.
Because that's the one that Child says, hey, you don't want to hurt anybody, and his response is, I'll kill you. So
they rush him with the table, like he puts the axe to the table.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they got axes.
I think this is going to be a good place to call the episode.
So yeah, we are officially crossing into longest episode ever territory.
Yeah. But it has been an absolute blast to have you guys on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to give...
We'll come on a break.
Yeah, so
if you want. Longest episode, most monsters.
Once we start running out of entertaining movies, we'll get around to 2011 thing.
All right, you guys can find...
I'll tell you what. If you want to ever do a Critters movie, I unapologetically love the Critters movies, and
I'm pretty sure it's on the list.
I just watched the first Critters again for the first time in probably like 20 years.
Just call me up, let me know. You know who we are.
So if you guys want to give your socials real quick, we can do that.
You can find us at Manticore_team at Twitter. You can find me at Bad Gray Matter with an E in the gray on Twitter, and Art of Rowyn Gold on Twitter. And from there, you will see a continual push of the things we do when we do them.
Excellent.
We also have Instagrams.
We also have Instagrams and teammanticore.com. Best place to find our stuff.
And as always, everybody can find us at www.bigdumbmonsterspodcast.com. You can email us movie suggestions, beer suggestions, whatever you want. bigdumbmonsters@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at dumb_monsters. Find us on Facebook at Big Dumb Monsters Pod, and if you are on Slasher, the all horror social media, you can find us at Big Dumb Monsters Podcast.
I was going to say, we did not say what we're drinking tonight.
Oh, we didn't?
Yeah, tonight we are drinking Allagash North Sky Stout.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I definitely enjoyed the 7.5% percent alcohol by volume.
Yeah, smooth.
So I'm going to tell you something that you can't confirm, but I've been drinking the same beer.
Excellent.
I noticed like halfway through the episode, I'm like, those cans they have look familiar.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
That's literally the same beer. I was gonna ask if you like.
That's crazy.
I
was walking through Target. I was like, that looks good. That's the one.
Way to keep with the theme, guys. Nice.
Excellent.
That's so funny.
Just right on the same page. Allagash North.
Favorite guests ever.
Yeah.
You should have us over again.
Slash beer psychics.
That's right.
That's so funny. I'm gonna take a picture just to prove it. That's so funny.
We will definitely have you guys again on the show in the future. Yeah, it's been a blast, guys. I really appreciate everybody.
Yeah, thanks for talking with us. And thanks to everybody out there who took the time to listen.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Excellent. And bye-bye.